At the beginning of the episode, we see a beautiful village on top of the mountains with many beautiful houses and buildings. Actually, this is a sect called the Tang sect. Then, outside the sect in the forest, we see a young man running away from some elders. The elders try to catch and attack him, but the young man dodges all attacks skillfully, which surprises the elders because they are very powerful, and it's nearly impossible to avoid their attacks. The young man's name is Tang San. While running, he comes across a cliff. Tang San had secretly learned a forbidden technique inside the sect library, which was against the rules. Because of this, he was sentenced to death. Tang San was firm in his principles and knew the punishment was death, so he decided to commit suicide himself. He also tells them that he hasn't told anyone else about the secret technique and that all the techniques are in his room. Then he takes out the most dangerous weapon of the technique and dedicates it to the sect leader. After that, he removes all his clothes because he wants to return everything he took from the sect. Then, he jumps down the cliff. The sect leader tries to save him, but Tang San is determined and dies by falling into the abyss. After his death, his soul crosses different worlds and reaches a parallel universe, where he is reborn as a newborn baby named Tang San. He remembers everything from his previous life, including all the techniques. From childhood, he practices these techniques on the mountain. This world has a continent called Douluo. Everyone here activates a special ability at the age of 6 called the Spirit Soul. After obtaining the Spirit Soul, people get different types of abilities. One day, while returning after practicing techniques outside, he learns that a Spirit Master is coming to their village to awaken the new children's abilities this year. The Spirit Master's name is Su Yudao, a rank 26 Spirit Grandmaster. In this world, the cult is divided into ranks from 1 to 100. Ranks 1 to 10 are called trainees, 10 to 20 are Spirit Masters, 21 to 30 Spirit Grandmasters, 31 to 40 Spirit Elders, and so on, according to their rank. To awaken the children's abilities. The village chief gathers all the kids in a building where the Spirit Master awakens their abilities one by one. Tang San is also there to awaken his ability. Before awakening the abilities, Tang San shows his power and summons a wolf-like spirit, which excites all the kids. Then children come forward one by one to awaken their spirit souls. The first child's spirit soul is a sickle tooth, a tool-type spirit soul. The Spirit Master tells him that this won't be very useful as a weapon, but people with this type of spirit soul are very good at agriculture or farming. Then the Spirit Master checks his soul bar, an indicator to train spirit souls. His soul bar is 0, meaning he cannot train his spirit soul and will live his life as a normal person. The Spirit Master checks more kids, mostly farming ability types. Then a girl comes forward with a spirit soul of blue silvergrass, which is a very common type with no special abilities. This spirit soul is considered the weakest. Then comes the main character, Tang San. He extends his right hand and concentrates, and blue silvergrass appears from it. But at the same time, something appears in his left hand too, a hammer, which he hides silently. The Spirit Master checks Tang San's soul bar, which is at level 10, a very rare condition. Those whose soul bar is level 10 during awakening are called burnt with soul bar and are very powerful people who go very far in life. The Spirit Master explains that level 10 is the highest soul bar, and Tang San asks if it's possible to train beyond this. The Master says that to go beyond level 10, one must acquire a spirit ring. Without a spirit ring, no matter how much one trains, they cannot reach level 11. Tang San asks if the Master has 2 spirit rings, as the Master had needed one for level 10 and one for level 20. Being rank 26. Spirit rings give users special powers according to their spirit souls. After this, the Spirit Master leaves the hall. Then, the village chief visits Tang San's home and tells Tang San's father, Tang Hao, about his son's abilities and calls Tang San a genius. Tang Hao asks about his son's spirit soul and learns it's blue silvergrass, which surprises him because he expected his son's spirit soul to be clear sky hammer. This confusion will be explained later. The village chief wants Tang San to train in a city academy, but Tang Hao refuses. He believes that keeping such a talented son at home is not right and that the son should get the best training outside. Despite the chief's insistence, Tang Hao refuses and leaves. Tang Hao worries his son will be upset, but Tang San is content and says they can live like blacksmiths. Tang Hao, feeling sad, expresses disdain for all spirit masters. Tang Hao then asks Tang San to show his spirit soul. Tang San shows the blue silvergrass from one hand, which surprises Tang Hao. Then Tang San reveals another spirit soul, clear sky hammer, from his other hand. This reminds Tang Hao of how years ago he and his wife were running from some people, and his wife sacrificed herself to save her husband and child. Her spirit soul was also blue silvergrass. Seeing his son's double spirit soul, Tang Hao hugs him and advises him always to protect the grass spirit soul with his hammer spirit soul. Tang Hao then begins teaching Tang San blacksmith techniques, using Tang San's past life memories to create hidden weapons. The next day, Tang Hao allows Tang San to go to the city for training, but sets some conditions. Never add any spirit ring to his hammer spirit soul. Never show his hammer spirit soul to anyone. Never reveal his secret of having 2 spirit souls unless his life is in danger. Do not use the hammer spirit soul unless absolutely necessary. Tang San agrees and sets off. He and the village chief go to the city to enroll in a big school. At the academy gate, a gatekeeper stops them. The chief shows a pass given by the Spirit Master, but the gatekeeper thinks it's fake because it says blue silvergrass but also level 10 soul bar. which is very rare and unlikely for a boy from a small village. An argument breaks out, and the gatekeeper even hits the chief. Tang San grabs the gatekeeper's hand and throws him down, getting very angry and ready to activate his hidden weapon. But a man arrives and stops the fight. This man is called the Grand Master by everyone. After stopping the fight, he takes Tang San inside for admission. On the way, the Grand Master reveals his identity as the Grand Master of the Academy. He says if Tang San wants to learn from him, he can call him teacher. The Grand Master saw Tang San's admission pass and says he is very intelligent. He also reveals that in the past 100 years, Tang San is the third person with 2 spirit souls. Tang San is shocked and ready to activate his hidden weapon again, worried about his secret being revealed. But the Grand Master explains how he knew. Through extensive research, he knows there are only 647 people in the world with blue silver grass spirit soul. Only 16 have a soul bar, and none above rank 1. Since the soul bar corresponds to spirit soul quality, blue silver grass cannot have a full soul bar. So the Grand Master is sure Tang San has 2 spirit souls. Hearing this, Tang San realizes the Grand Master is wise and immediately bows, asking to become his disciple. The Grand Master accepts him, and they go to meet the principal for admission. The principal finds the blue silver grass spirit soul with full soul bar unusual but admits him after seeing the Grand Master. Though the Grand Master is not a teacher, the principal and others respect him highly. Tang San is assigned Hostel 7. When S opens the hostel gate, a kid attacks him. They fight, and Tang San easily defeats the kid. All kids cheer for Tang San. The defeated kid respectfully tells Tang San that there's a tradition in the hostel. A traditional kid fights the new kid, and if the new kid wins, he becomes the big boss of the hostel. Since Tang San wins, all kids bow and call him the big boss. Then, a new girl named Zewu arrives. According to tradition, Tang San attacks her. This girl has a spirit soul of rapid, and she is extremely powerful. During the fight, both seem equally matched, but eventually the girl defeats Tang San, and she is declared the new big boss of Hostel 7. Her name is Zewu. There is no separate hostel for girls and boys here because all the students are children. Hence, everyone lives together. Everyone starts asking each other about their spirit soul powers, and when Tang San tells them about his power, all the kids are shocked. Soon after, a teacher comes and gives Tenshin his blanket. All the students in Hostel 7 are working students, meaning they do part-time jobs to pay for their tuition. The teacher then takes Tang San and Zewu to their rooms. But Zewu doesn't have a blanket of her own, so she asks Time to combine their beds and sleep together. Everyone is shocked, and Tenshin nervously asks, how can a boy and girl sleep on the same bed? To this, Zewu replies, if I, a girl, am not uncomfortable, then why are you, a boy, bothered? She attacks the bed, combines it, and they both go to sleep. The next day, all the children go to the mess to eat. Zewu was told to eat on the upper floor, but she learns that the upper floor is reserved for rich kids, and the poor are not allowed there. The rich kids mock the poor ones. All the Hostel 7 students feel hurt and decide to eat on the lower floor. Just then, Grandmaster arrives. He is Tenshin's teacher. Grandmaster asks Time to join him on the upper floor because he wants to talk. But Time prefers to stay with his friends and says he'll come after eating. When his friends find out who Grandmaster is, they're surprised. Everyone knows Grandmaster is stuck at rank 29 and can't advance. Some even mock him. Tenshin gets angry and warns them not to disrespect his teacher again. Then, Tenshin meets Grandmaster, who asks him to show his second spirit soul, which turns out to be a hammer. Grandmaster is impressed but curious. How could a blacksmith's son have such talent? Still, he calls it a great match since a blacksmith is best suited to have a hammer spirit soul. Grandmaster tells Tenshin to add a spirit ring to his hammer spirit soul. Tenshin is shocked, as his father had warned him not to do that. When he asks why, Grandmaster replies, you'll understand when the time is right. Grandmaster wants to train Tang San and turn him into a spirit master. But for that, he must increase his rank from 10 to 11, which requires a spirit ring from a beast at least 20 years old. So they head to a special forest. Along the way, Grandmaster gives him knowledge about his blue-silver grass spirit soul. Back at the hostel, Zewu realizes Tang San lost to her on purpose and didn't use his full abilities. She blocks his way and challenges him to a fight. During the battle, a romantic tension builds. Just then, a lady teacher catches them fighting and misunderstands the situation. Zewu cheekily pushes the teacher and runs off. The next day, Grandmaster and Time head to the forest. Grandmaster gives Time a belt that can store items. Time is excited to use it for hiding weapons. They reach the forest entrance, where only authorized people are allowed. Grandmaster's status lets them in. Inside, they spot many beasts, including one that looks suitable but is too young. Then they find a radish-eating beast, and Grandmaster feeds it to activate its power. Suddenly, a giant snake-type beast, over 100 years old, attacks them. It's too strong for Grandmaster to defeat, so they try to run, but it chases them. Tang San decides to sneak behind and uses his hidden weapon to stab the beast in the mouth, killing it. Grandmaster sees it and assumes it was luck. He tells Time to absorb the beast's energy to get the spirit ring. Time is scared, thinking the snake's energy might destroy his blue-silver grass soul. But Grandmaster reassures him it'll make it stronger. Time meditates, absorbs the energy, and gains a spirit ring. Morning comes, and Time finds Grandmaster unconscious, poisoned by the snake. Time uses his blacksmith skills and his spirit soul to extract the poison. Eventually, Grandmaster regains consciousness. He tells Time to go back to school and show his new spirit ring. They return, and Grandmaster gives him a book of his research for future help. He also tells Time to go to the Spirit Hall Academy to register and get monthly support based on his talent. This way, he won't have to work part-time anymore. Meanwhile, hostile 7 students and the rich kids clash on the playground. They agree to a match. Each side will send one fighter, and the losing team must acknowledge the other as superior. Jiwo sends a boy with a spiritual line soul, but he starts losing. The rich kids mock Jiwo, calling her a rabbit. Just then, Tang San arrives. Jiwo happily tells him everything. Time secretly throws pebbles to distract the rich kid, allowing hostile 7's boy to win. The rich kids get angry and send their strongest fighter. Time Seong steps up and defeats him without even using his spirit soul, humiliating him. The rich kid attacks with full power, but Time counters with his spirit ring and paralyzes him. Forced to admit defeat, the rich kids accept hostile 7 as the victors. Everyone is amazed when Time reveals his soul power rank is that of a ranger. Time then heads to Spirit Hall Academy as instructed, where he runs into some people from his village. There, he found his old masters. Then, the head of the academy met him and took Tang San to show him the Martial Soul Hall. In this hall, there are high-level martial souls, which can only be found in big cities. This is a secret academy, and only people with a very high soul level can access these types of martial souls. Every master wanted to obtain this martial soul, but no one had ever been born with the ability to handle it, until now. Then, Tang San revealed his spirit soul, and when they saw the snake's spirit inside him, they were shocked. When they discovered that the soul power of this child was already at level 13, jumping directly from level 10 to 13, they were even more surprised. They realized there must be a powerful teacher behind him. Tang San then revealed that his teacher was the Grandmaster. Hearing this, they were ready to teach him and immediately admitted him into the academy. Then Shan went outside and tried to find work in the blacksmith colony. He wanted to earn some money to support his livelihood. He asked blacksmiths one by one for work, but each blacksmith mocked him as a child and drove him away. However, one blacksmith gave him work and assigned the most difficult job, which was refining. Hearing this, the blacksmith mocked him, but Tenshin did not take offense. He remembered his father's lessons about techniques. His father used to teach him different techniques for refining and forcing, and among those, Tang San had mastered them. Tang San took the blacksmith's materials and refined them in one attempt. Seeing this, all the blacksmiths present became very interested. They had thought the child wouldn't even be able to lift the hammer, but he used the random hammering skill refined them in one attempt. The blacksmith hired him, expecting to earn profit from the child. Meanwhile, a masked man was secretly watching Tenshin and monitoring all his activities. A year passed while Tenshin worked for the blacksmith. After a year, he went home to meet his parents, but they were not there. Instead, the Grandmaster was present, who gave him a letter. The letter said that they were leaving Tang San because if they stayed close, it would cause difficulties in training. Also, they had some old work to finish and would not return until Tang San became a powerful warrior. Seeing his father gone, Tang San felt very bad. Meanwhile, the Grandmaster, now in the city, remembered his student. At that moment, Tang San's father arrived at the gate. The Grandmaster and Tang San's father had not met for 20 years. Upon seeing him, the Grandmaster became happy and realized Tang San was his son, which explained his great power. The Grandmaster learned that Tang San had left his son alone, which upset him. He scolded Tang San severely because Tang San was still a child, and this was wrong. Despite repeated requests, Tang San's father did not agree to return and was not ready to go back. Instead, he gave the Grandmaster a changed appearance and left. Tang San became very sad because of his father and lost the will to do anything. But his friend encouraged him and said his father had left him for his own good, wanting to see him become a great man. She told him to leave sorrow behind, focus on work, and become a great man. Tang San understood, and they talked more. Between them, a romantic moment appeared, where they promised to always stay together and vowed to protect each other. Tang San's father also has a hidden story, which will be revealed in the upcoming episodes. Tang San shows his hidden weapon to her, which made her very happy, but he refused to give him anything dangerous. Tang San looked at the sky and promised that one day he would become very powerful and train again. 5 years passed. According to the story, they were now attending high school. Both still lived together, and there was some romantic tension, but only from Zivo's side. Thag Shan considered her just a friend. The university was scheduled to start 2 days later, so they decided to book a hotel. They found one called the Rose Hotel. While they were trying to book a room, they were told that only one room was available. Just then, a man around their age, standing with 2 girls, arrived and arrogantly booked the room before them. Everyone seemed to fear him and followed his commands without question. Angered, a fight broke out. Tang San angrily attacked the man. At first, both used their skills to attack each other intensely. The fight was fierce, but Mr. Dai understood Tang San's style and used his soul ring, which had a tiger spirit of level 20 and soul power rank 37, making him powerful. Tang San then used his spirit made from Datura, and his soul power was continuing. He tried to bind Mr. Dai with his spirit, but Mr. Dai broke the bonds every time. Tang San tried repeatedly, but the bond was broken by a white tiger spirit, which escaped. The Tang San attack landed on him, paralyzing his body, and he got trapped. It seemed Tang San had won. But then the Mr. Dai used his third soul ring, the third powerful, white tiger word formation. This spirit destroyed Tang San's position, and Tang San realized he could not defeat him now. Mr. Dai praised Tang San for fighting well despite the powerful axe used by him. It seemed Tang San would be accepted there, but then they left. Tang San realized he had to take school admission and went to his room, talking about how he liked a responsible, mature person who cared for him well. Upon reaching the room, they found it very different because it was actually a honeymoon hotel. Tang San felt strange seeing such grandeur. The girl was happy and went directly to lie on the bed. Tang San lay beside her and thought about today's fight. Actually, if he wanted, he could have used the hidden weapon to win, but that would have revealed the truth about hidden to everyone, so he didn't use it. He remembered something from his past life, when he killed a man using the hidden weapons. The next day, they went to explore the city. Inside, a merchant tried to sell something at a very high price, and Tang San was willing to pay any cost. The price rose even more. Tang San angered the merchant. But then at the shop, Tang San wore the pendant given by the Grandmaster on his waist, and shop owner realized the boy was the Grandmaster's student. The merchant began giving it for free, but Tang San gave him some money and kept it. He then used it to crush and collect his crime news. Actually, this was considered useless, but Tang San knew that the material was valuable, something he recognized from his past life memories. He explained to Zewu, "We can make thin needles from this. They may look small, but they can be more powerful than most hidden weapons." Without delay, both headed to the school. Upon arrival, they saw a long queue. The gate tested everyone and did not allow weak children entry. They explained weak children would not be admitted, and their fees wouldn't be refunded. Mr. Dai managed the gate, telling those demanding refunds to fight him. If they won, they would get refunds, but no one dared fight Mr. Dai. So all rejected returned home. This school admitted only monster-like children, those who were dangerous and powerful. Tang San and Mr. Dai exchanged a respectful smile. Then Tang San's and Zewu's test was done. Both were powerful, so they were admitted. Inside, the school was a different world. Mr. Dai walked with them to show the way and kept company. On the way, they talked about many things, including different spurts. Mr. Dai seemed to like the girl. Inside, there were many shops. Then, a moving sauce shop arrived. Zewu wanted to eat sausages, so she asked Tang San to bring some for her. Tang San went out to buy the sausages and came across a moving sausage shop. He called the shopkeeper uncle, but soon felt sad because the man selling sausages wasn't an older vendor, but a fellow student, just like them. Tang San was shocked and wondered why someone his age was running a sausage shop. Just then, Mr. Dai appeared. He told Tang San that selling sausages in that area wasn't allowed. Tang San asked why. Mr. Dai explained that the student's spirit soul was connected to food, and he was using his spiritual energy to create the sausages. That's how he was able to make the shop move and sell them so quickly. Hearing this, Tang San felt guilty and decided to return the sausages. In the end, they all smiled. The sausage seller has many names, but everyone calls him Oscar. There were 2 students, including Tang San, who were walking toward the academy, but they hadn't been officially admitted yet. The admission process was still ongoing, and many students were lined up, waiting for their chance. Mr. Dai brought Tang San and a few other selected students toward the academy gates. The other students in line began arguing, questioning why they were being taken ahead without even giving the entrance test. Mr. Dai calmly explained, students with a spirit power level above 20 are allowed to skip the preliminary tests. With that, they continued toward the academy. Along the way, Mr. Dai revealed a harsh truth. None of the students at the back of the line were likely to pass. The entrance exam was extremely difficult, and only those with a spirit power level of 20 or higher were admitted. In fact, every year, only 2 or 3 students made it through. So far, only 42 students had ever studied at this academy. The children were shocked to hear this and wondered how such strict criteria didn't harm the academy's reputation, especially since so few were accepted. Mr. Dai responded firmly, "This academy values quality over quantity. Weak students are not welcome here." He further explained that in order to graduate, a student must reach at least a spirit power level of 40. Those who failed to meet this standard were expelled. That's why, out of all who entered, only 14 students had ever graduated, and all of them had gone on to earn fame and respect in the world. The rest either died during the harsh training or disappeared, their stories ending in silence. Fear crept into the hearts of the students, but even so, their desire to study at the prestigious academy only grew stronger. They finally arrived at the exam hall, where the vice principal was waiting. The vice principal was a cold, intimidating man with a stone-like face. As the 4 candidates approached, he looked at them and said flatly, "If you want admission, you must fight me. All 4 of you, together. If you win, you enter. If not, you leave." His name was Master Zewu. Mr. Dai leaned in and whispered to the students, "This man is so powerful, even 40 armed soldiers couldn't defeat him. That's why he's known as the Immortal." Everyone was stunned. They had all heard of the name before. Master Zewu wasn't just a teacher, he was a legendary warrior. Then Mr. Dai gave them a vital piece of advice. His one weakness is speed. Use it wisely. He gave the 4 students 30 minutes to come up with a strategy to take him down. The 2 girls introduced themselves. The one wearing blue clothes was named Ningrong. She was incredibly powerful and possessed a support-type spirit soul. Her abilities were impressive. By using her spirit power, she could increase the speed of her entire team by 30%, making her a vital member in any battle. The other girl, dressed in black, introduced herself as Ziziking. Her spirit soul was a soul cat, known for its agility, stealth, and quick strikes. Tang San then guided his teammates on how to fight Master Zewu. When the battle started, they quickly realized how powerful the master truly was. None of them could land a solid hit, and Master Zewu easily overpowered them. He was clearly enjoying the fight, treating it more like a game. The students attacked together with all their strength, but they still couldn't defeat him. Master Zewu laughed mockingly and suddenly struck Zewu with great force. She was badly injured. Seeing this, Tang San was filled with rage. He stepped forward and challenged Master Zewu to a one-on-one fight. If I defeat you, Tang San said firmly, you must admit all of us into the academy. Master Zewu agreed, intrigued by Tang San's confidence. The real battle began. This time, Tang San fought seriously. He used his hidden weapons openly, tiny, unexpected attacks that caught Master Zewu off guard. Though the master had a spirit power of 70 and wasn't badly damaged, he began to feel pain. He soon realized that the hidden weapons were laced with poison. Tang San smirked, then finished the fight with a powerful strike from his hammer, landing a direct blow on Master Zewu. Tang San had defeated the mighty, immortal Master Zewu. Master Zewu sat on the ground in shock, defeated by a child. Mr. Dai and Oscar arrived shortly after. Oscar praised Tang San and his friends for their teamwork and determination. But when Oscar saw Ningrong, he was immediately smitten. He tried flirting with her, but Mr. Dai pulled him away, and Oscar walked off, disappointed. That night, Master Zewu sat quietly in his room, reflecting on the day. Suddenly, he sensed a powerful presence outside. Curious, he stepped out and saw a mysterious man standing under the moonlight. The man radiated overwhelming spirit power, above level 90. Master Zewu instantly realized this man was on another level. That man was none other than Tang San's father, Tang Hao. He had come to punish Master Zewu for mistreating the students. Tang Hao challenged him to a fight. The dean of the academy also arrived and tried to stop the confrontation. But upon sensing Tang Hao's strength, far beyond both of theirs combined, the dean stepped aside. Tang Hao defeated Master Zewu easily and left without another word. Only later did Master Zewu ask the dean why you don't save me. The dean simply replied, there was nothing I could have done. The next morning, Tang San woke up in his room. Oscar was there and offered some advice. Then he asked about Tang San's relationship with Zewu. Tang San replied, she's just my best friend, nothing more. Later, Tang San went back to the training ground to collect his hidden weapons. He realized that if he wanted to face stronger enemies like Master Zewu, he'd need to create even more powerful hidden weapons. Back in his room, he found Oscar again. Tang San asked if he wanted to train together, but Oscar laughed and said, my spirit is food-based. I don't need to train that hard. Afterward, Tang San went to Zewu and apologized for not being able to protect her during the fight. Zewu smiled and said, don't worry. Master Zewu was far too strong. You did everything you could. While walking around the academy grounds, they saw a fat student arguing with his girlfriend. When he noticed Zewu, he made rude comments about her. Tang San stepped in to defend her, and a fight broke out. This student turned out to be very powerful. He had a beast-type spirit soul with fire abilities, an incredibly destructive spirit. Tang San tried to use his plant-type spirit against him, but it wasn't effective. Zewu joined the fight, but also struggled. However, the boy got distracted by Zewu's appearance, which gave her the opening she needed. She landed a surprise attack and managed to defeat him. Their battle was about to resume when Mr. Dai arrived and intervened, calming things down. It turns out this chubby boy isn't a bad guy at all. Mr. Dai then told everyone Fat Boy's story. Fat Boy is actually a new student at this school who enrolled this year. His soul is a mutated spirit soul, meaning it originates from 2 souls combined into one. This mutated soul is very dangerous, which is why Fat Boy possesses immense strength. However, Fat Boy can't yet control his spirit soul, so it changes his emotions and causes him to harm those around him. As a result, he becomes attracted to several girls, but every girlfriend he's had ends up betraying him, leaving him deeply hurt. The only thing that can control his spirit soul is feeding him to his heart's content. Everyone found this very strange, but realized this truly is the most unusual school. Then Mr. Dai introduced him to the other students. At that moment, Oscar appeared and introduced himself. He tried to impress Ningrong by striking a pose and showing off his biceps. He even shaved his beard, but Ningrong wasn't impressed. In fact, his antics irritated her. Then the school dean arrived. It turned out he's the same person who used to be a shopkeeper, the one from whom they'd bought that crystal. He serves both roles, shopkeeper and dean here. He lined up all the children and began assigning tasks. First, he called Ningrong and Oscar and told them to run 20 rounds around the place, then dismissed them. He asked Mr. Dai to explain the rules to the other children and then summoned Tang San to his office. There they discussed the Grandmaster and showed him a 3-year Grandmaster approval letter stating that Tang San was permitted to study at the school. Meanwhile, we see Rongrong's tribe is furious that she ran away from her home. They believe they could have educated her better themselves. Back with Oscar and Rongrong doing their 20 rounds, Oscar makes sausage from his soul part and offers it to Rongrong, since she hadn't eaten all morning. But Rongrong, with her attitude, declines and walks ahead, leaving him behind. Rongrong's tribe then send agents to bring her back. After a while, all children stand in line again, and the dean asks if they completed their 20 rounds. Oscar says yes, but when asked, Oscar says on her behalf that he also does. The dean commends Oscar, then tells him to do 20 more rounds. Though upset, Oscar can't refuse his teacher and goes to run again. They realize Oscar lied on behalf of Rongrong. The dean scolds her too, and Rongrong angrily turns to him, raising her voice to say this is only a school, not a battlefield for unquestioning obedience. Rongrong's tribe is powerful and arrogant, so she answered defiantly. Enraged, the dean orders her to leave the school and tells Mr. Dai to pack her belongings. Rongrong threatens them, saying her tribe won't leave them alone. But the dean retorts, "What can you do? You're the weakest girl here, and should be grateful we even admitted you." Rongrong can't bear it, but seeing Tang San, Zewu, Fat Boy, Mr. Dai, and Cat Girl standing behind her, she begins to feel weak. Then she looks at Oscar and thinks he's even stronger. But the dean points out that Oscar, too, possesses his full soul and is the strongest among his peers. Realizing this, Rongrong turns sad, cries, and runs away. That evening, the dean takes all of them on a city tour, and then brings them into a ring where warriors used to compete. This place is called the Soul Arena, where people use their fighting skills to defeat each other. Victors receive badges of distinction, and the dean tells them that to graduate from the school, they must at least earn a silver badge. Everyone goes in, and Mr. Dai explains his record. He's won 27 matches and lost 25, and his score is 2. Fat Boy then says his score is 9. Because Fat Boy's soul power is lower, he draws weaker opponents, while Mr. Dai, with stronger power, faces tougher ones. Then Zewu and Tang San register for a 2 versus 2 match, naming their teams Zewu. First, Zewu and another warrior enter the ring. The opponent has an Iron Rhino soul power, very formidable. But Zewu, without using soul power, attacks and, in a short but brilliant fight, uses her skills to defeat and win the match. Next is Tang San versus Cat Girl. Tang San knows Cat Girl's ability is speed, so he wants to trap her. He constructs a cage using blue silver plants around her. Cat Girl gets caught, and Mr. Dai is displeased because he likes Cat Girl and wants to see her win. Tang San tries to trap her, but she escapes through the top. Mr. Dai then realizes Tang San's strategy. He's laid blue silver plants on the ground so that when she jumps, they'll grab her at her feet. That's exactly what happens. When Cat Girl leaps, Tang San captures her, earning the win. Cat Girl is sad, but Mr. Dai comforts her. This arena is flat, and her ability is meant for climbing trees, so she shouldn't be disheartened. Then the 2-on-2 round begins. Team Zewu and Tang San versus the 2 Hammer Soul brothers, Iron Tiger and Iron Dragon, both extremely strong. They attack using random hammering skills. Though Tang San counters, the brothers overpower him. One of them strikes Tang San with a hammer, injuring him. Before he gets seriously hurt, Tang San traps them in his blue-silver plants. Zewu sees Tang San wounded and, in anger, seriously attacks the brothers with her blades. But since this is a competition where someone is supposed to lose, her blades could have killed them. To prevent that, Tang San throws his hidden weapon at the brothers to save them. Impressed, the brothers admit defeat, and Team Zewu is declared the winner. After the fight, Tang San realizes there are many powerful warriors in this world and that he needs training. They exit, and Mr. Dai plans to propose to Cat Girl. But Fat Boy blurts it out in front of everyone, embarrassing Mr. Dai, and Cat Girl misunderstands and walks away, thinking Mr. Dai is a playboy. Zewu and Tang San talk and head back to school. At the entrance, they see Mr. Dai arguing with Ning Rongrong, who is treating him very rudely. This angers Mr. Dai, and he moves to strike her. Tang San stops him, telling him to control his anger. Mr. Dai calms down and goes inside. After Mr. Dai leaves, Rongrong tells Tang San to kill Mr. Dai. If he does, her tribe will pay him a lot and offer him a good position. But Tang San refuses because it means nothing to him. He tells her to improve her behavior. He then asks Oscar for help, but Oscar also refuses. Shocked, Rongrong says, "You like me, but you won't take my side? Why?" Oscar replies, "You repeatedly made me feel you're from a big family and we're insignificant compared to you. Now I feel I'm not made for a highborn girl like you." Rongrong realizes her mistake, and though she doesn't respond, she understands that if she doesn't change her behavior, she won't have any friends. She then starts crying loudly. The next morning, all the children stand in line again, and once more Oscar arrives late. As he arrives, the dean is about to scold him, but Oscar excitedly says, "I trained this morning, and today my soul par reached 30th rank." Hearing this, the dean is delighted, and the other children congratulate him. Reaching soul power rank 30 is very difficult. To go beyond rank 30, he needs to add a spirit ring to his soul power, and to get that, he must kill a beast. The dean then orders them, "Go into the forest today and hunt a beast so he can obtain his spirit ring." To celebrate, the dean asks Oscar to give everyone a sausage each. Oscar happily starts making sausages, but no one wants to eat his sausage. Finally, once they are ready, Ning Rongrong steps forward first and eats both sausages in front of him, shocking everyone. Then Mr. Zhao arrives and leads them into the forest to start hunting. They haven't seen any beasts yet. Eventually, they reach a spot where Oscar, walking, trips and falls into a pit. But Ning Rongrong rescues him. This is a romantic moment from her side. Continuing through the forest, they arrive at another town and decide to stay the night. They all enter a restaurant and begin eating when children from another school enter. These other kids are mischievous and always looking for trouble. The Shrek school kids sense a fight brewing. The rival kids first try to throw the waiter's food at them, but Tang San uses his speed to stop it. Then the rival kids try to hurt Mr. Dai, but Mr. Dai is so strong the rival kids get hurt instead. The rival school's leader asks about their school, and when he hears its name, he laughs. They're from a rich school. A fight breaks out, with the rival kids and the Shrek school kids battling. But Zewu overpowers them all, and the rival leader gets angry. They glare at each other. Now a serious fight begins between the two. The other school's leader has the spirit soul of a black turtle. Tang San and everyone else thinks that it's a defense-type spirit soul, and accordingly, they
और
plan
वो
to
उनको
defeat
बर्फ
it.
से
Then
जमाने
they
की
all try to
कोशिश
attack
करने
him
लगता
together,
है,
but he evades all their attacks and laughs at them. The Shrek school kids try different ways to defeat him, but they are unable to, and now he also gets angry and starts trying to freeze them with ice. And the misunderstanding Tang San had, that he would only defend, breaks, because now he starts attacking too. The Shrek school kids begin to lose badly, but just then Mr. Zhao arrives. Mr. Zhao sends all the Shrek school kids inside to sleep in their rooms and then goes to face the leader himself. The leader also mocks him, but Mr. Zhao starts beating him up without even using his spirit soul. Even after using his full power, the leader can't defeat him and ends up beaten, falling into a dustbin. After beating him, Mr. Zhao goes back to the kids and tells them to head back to the forest the next day. There, he also asks Ning Rongrong why she didn't use her spirit soul. She replies that she was waiting for the right time. Actually, according to the plan, she was supposed to use her spirit soul after Mr. Dai used his second spirit ring, but Mr. Dai never got the chance to use it. In truth, Ning Rongrong had now changed and wanted to be friends with the rest of the Shrek school kids because she understood what Oscar had said. The next day, they all go back into the forest, where they again see many strange creatures, and they all proceed according to Mr. Zhao's planning. As they move forward, they come across a very dangerous beast. It is a huge snake called the Millennium Phoenix Tail Crest Serpent. This snake is over 1,000 years old, which is why it's extremely powerful. Actually, the older a beast is, the more powerful it becomes. Now they decide to kill it because if Oscar gets the spirit ring inside it, he'll become very powerful. They all plan to kill it through teamwork, and as per the plan, they each attack it. Finally, after a tough struggle, they manage to injure it and knock it down. Now Oscar had to kill it and obtain the spirit ring inside it. He steps forward with his knife to kill it. But then Zewu asks him, "Can't we leave it alive?" To which Tang San explains that this is the law of nature. In this world, the stronger always kills the weaker. If we were weaker than this beast, they would be the ones lying on the ground, and the beast wouldn't have spared them either. Then Oscar proceeds to kill it. But just then, an old lady and her granddaughters arrive and say that they had seen this beast first and had already attacked it. They had wounded it on the stomach earlier, and upon checking, Tang San finds 3 marks there. Actually, the grandmother wanted to give the spirit ring to her granddaughter so she could become stronger, but Mr. Zhao doesn't agree with her. Actually, the grandma and grandpa, her husband, are extremely strong. If the two fight together, even the greatest warriors of the continent can lose to them. But right now, the grandmother is alone, and the grandpa isn't with her, which is why Mr. Zhao could defeat her if he wanted to. But Mr. Zhao doesn't want to take the risk. What if the grandpa is somewhere nearby in the forest? So a polite argument breaks out between the two. Then it's decided that there will be a fight between the granddaughter and Tang San. If the granddaughter wins, she gets the spirit ring. If Tang San wins, Oscar gets the spirit ring. Fighting the granddaughter isn't an easy task because she is at rank 30 and her spirit soul is also of a serpent stick, which is very strong. Still, a fight starts between the two. First, Tang San tries to bind her using his skill, but she escapes the attack, and then both start fighting using their best possible efforts. Then both start attacking each other using their spirit souls, and their energies clash. After a while, they both fall far apart. The granddaughter falls unconscious, but Tang San, though injured, remains conscious. This means Tang San has won and the granddaughter has lost. Now Tang San immediately sits to meditate because his power is drained. The grandmother accepts her defeat and lets them take the spirit ring. Oscar kills the beast and obtains the spirit ring and starts meditating. When he wakes up, everyone is eager to see his spirit ring, but he feels shy to show it. When everyone says they won't laugh at it, he agrees and uses his spirit ring to create a tasty sausage and shows them. Seeing this, everyone bursts out laughing. Oscar feels very bad, but then he shows them the second ability of this spirit ring and flies in front of them. This means Oscar now has the power to fly, and everyone is very happy to see this. Then Tang San also regains consciousness and says that they shouldn't leave the forest yet. Mr. Zhao scolds him, saying this forest isn't a place to play or picnic. Tang San then explains that due to the fight, he has upgraded and reached rank 30, and now he too will need a spirit ring. Everyone congratulates Tang San and is very happy. They decide to find a spirit ring for Tang Shang the next day. Then they all move ahead again and stop at a place to talk. Tang Shang discusses with Mr. Zhao about how humans kill soul beasts for their cultivation. A human kills 5 to 6 soul beasts in their lifetime, without even thinking or understanding. One day, all soul beasts will go extinct, and then humans won't be able to cultivate either. As Tang Shang talks about the death of soul beasts, Zewu looks a little upset. Actually, Zewu has her own different and interesting story, which we will find out later. While they are still talking, the ground starts shaking, and an earthquake begins. Trees, animals, and everything around begin to stir, and Mr. Zhao realizes that a great danger is approaching. They are in the middle of the forest, so they can't run away either. Then a massive beast with abs-like muscles appears. It's a many thousand-year-old beast. Such a dangerous beast should have been deep in the forest, but it's here, and they realize why it's here. Mr. Zhao steps forward and politely tells it that if this is your place and you don't want to see us here, we will leave. We didn't come here to cause harm. But the ape hates humans because humans kill soul beasts without mercy for their own benefit. That's why the giant ape now wants to kill all of them. Mr. Zhao uses his soul power and attacks it, and Ning Rongrong uses her soul power to increase Mr. Mao's speed by 30 times. But even this doesn't kill the giant ape. Now everyone else uses their own soul powers to attack it, but nothing affects the ape. They decide to escape, but during this, the giant ape grabs Zewu. Now Tang Shang and Mr. Zhao get angry. Mr. Zhao uses his 7th spirit ring, which is of a bear. He attacks the giant ape with full potential, but even then, the ape only gets injured and doesn't die. Now Mr. Zhao is power drained and will take 7 days to recover. Tang Shan, in anger, runs toward the giant ape to save Zewu. He wanted to save Zewu at any cost because she was the only one he cared for the most in his life. He reaches the giant ape and tries to kill it, but the ape pushes him away and runs off with Zewu. All the kids are very sad because Zewu is gone, and Tang Shang deeply regrets not being able to save her. He decides to save her and immediately tells Oscar to make a flying sausage mushroom. Oscar had received his 3rd ring because of Tang Shang. So despite Mr. Zhao's refusal, he listens to Tang Shang and gives him the flying sausage. After eating it, Tang Shang gets wings and sets off alone to find Zewu. Ning Rongrong also increases his speed by 30%. Seeing Tang Shang go alone, Mr. Zhao decides to follow him. Oscar also begins making a flying sausage mushroom for everyone. Meanwhile, the giant ape who had taken Zewu was behaving very politely toward her, and Zewu was calmly talking to him, saying, "My friends must be worried about me. You shouldn't harm my friends, and you shouldn't have picked me up like this." While on his way, he sees a huge spider that attacks him. The spider was extremely strong and thousands of years old. Killing this spider was very difficult because it was a poisonous spider itself, so if Tang Shan tried to use poison on it, it would have no effect. Now, Tang Shan somehow tries to save himself and attempts to bind the spider using the blue-silver plant. But the spider keeps breaking through the webs and continues to advance to attack him. The spider traps people by releasing its spider web, and the poison on the web gradually kills humans. The spider starts releasing its web on Tang Shan in the same way. Even Tang Shan's hidden weapons were having no effect on it. The spider could only be killed when it was injured. After a long fight, the spider finally stings Tang Shan, and he falls unconscious. A little while later, he opens his eyes and finds himself awakened in his past life. He was now back in Tang's sect, where the old elders were present. Tang Shan stands there and has completely forgotten all the memories of his current life. He doesn't remember who Zewu is, what Shrek School is, or where he used to live. There, he talks to the others and begins to blend in with them. But then, a man says some words that Zewu used to say. This triggers visions in Tang Shan, and gradually, he starts remembering everything, that he does not belong here, that he had died, and that in his next life, he was in another world. He realizes he doesn't belong here, so he attempts to commit suicide again. The elders try to stop him and tell him that he can stay if he wants to. But Tang Shan needed to return to save Zewu, so he commits suicide again. This time, he opens his eyes back at the same place where he was fighting the spider. In reality, he had fallen unconscious due to the spider's poison and had seen this dream. Now, regaining consciousness, he frees himself from the spider's web and, remembering Zewu, strikes the spider with his hammer. This weakens the spider significantly, giving Tang Shan a chance to use his hidden weapons. He attacks it directly with his hidden weapon and kills it. After this, his power gets drained again, so he sits down to meditate. Just then, a grandmother and her granddaughter arrive. This time, the grandfather is also with them. The grandparents were looking for this spider for their granddaughter. But for the second time, Tang Shan has taken away the granddaughter's prey. This makes both grandparents very angry. However, the spider was so strong that the grandparents would have had to use their full strength to defeat it, whereas Tang Shan defeated it alone. This shocks the grandfather, but he couldn't just let go of someone who robbed their granddaughter. So, he uses his mind and gives Tang Shan 2 choices. First, they will let Tang Shan live, but he must join their family. Second, if he refuses the first choice, he will be killed for stealing the granddaughter's soul beast. Tang Shan agrees to the first choice, but with a condition. He says, "I'm ready to join your family, but you must come with me and help me save Zewu from the giant ape." Upon hearing the name Giant Ape, both grandparents refused because the giant ape was extremely powerful. Even the greatest grandmaster of Soul Land couldn't defeat it. So they reject his condition. Tang San also says, if you won't accept my condition, then I won't join your family. This angers the grandfather, and he moves forward to fight Tang San. But just then, Mr. Zhao and the other kids arrive and stop the grandparents. They try to reason with him and explain that Tang San killed the spider to save his own life. When the grandparents still don't listen, Mr. Zhao takes the grandfather aside and tells him that Tang San is the disciple of the grandmaster. Upon hearing the grandmaster's name, the grandfather calms down because he respects the grandmaster. Without saying anything more, he turns around and leaves. But the granddaughter cannot bear this. She wants revenge on Tang San. So she challenges him and says, this time I'll defeat you. And if you still win, then you can claim the spirit ring of the soul beast. Tang San accepts her challenge. Just then, Oscar arrives and says that one more condition must be added to this bet. He adds that if Tang San wins, the granddaughter must kiss him. The granddaughter gets angry, but the grandparents are delighted because they wanted their granddaughter to be with a strong man like Tang San. A competition is held between them where both must throw blades at a tree standing 20 meters away. Each is given 16 blades. They must catch a leaf in each blade mid-air and strike the tree. The competition begins. The granddaughter throws her blades and manages to trap a leaf in each one. All her blades hit the tree, and she is very happy. Looking at Tang San, she says with attitude, are you scared? You haven't even thrown your blades yet. At that moment, her grandfather tells her, when you were throwing your blades, Tang San had already thrown his. He was so fast that you didn't even see him. And each of his blades trapped 10 leaves. Hearing this, the granddaughter becomes very sad, realizing she has lost the competition. Tang San approaches her and comforts her, saying, you shouldn't be disappointed because I've been practicing this weapon for 9 years. It's called the hidden secret weapon. He tells her more about it and says that if she wants to learn it, he can teach her. Impressed by Tang San's polite nature, the granddaughter becomes fond of him. Tang San gifts her his secret weapons, making her very happy. She quickly kisses him and shyly runs away. Tang San then absorbs the spirit ring of the spider. The name of the spider is human-faced demon spider. Meanwhile, at the city school, we see the grandmaster thinking about Tang San and missing him. The next day, Tang San's father, Tang Hao, arrives at the spot where Tang San fought the spider. There, he sees many blue-silver plants and feels very proud of his son's abilities. From there, he goes to a place filled with destruction. Some blue-silver plants are there too, and he reminisces about the past. Now we learn about Tang Hao's backstory. He stood at this place with his beautiful wife and infant baby while trying to escape from someone. Tang Hao used his hammer to protect his wife and child. He was incredibly powerful and wanted to save his wife at all costs. His wife's name was Yin, and she was being hunted by a powerful Soul Land Master. Tang Hao fights the Soul Land Master and injures him, asking his wife to flee. But the Soul Land Master attacks again with full strength. Tang Hao dodges again and continues to flee. But soon, more Soul Land Masters arrive, including a man who commanded them, the most powerful person on the entire continent. He tells them that loving each other was against divine rules. Tang Hao ignores him, saying, who are you to lecture us about the laws of the gods? That man wants to separate him from Yin, but Tang Hao loves her deeply and moves forward to fight. Just then, Yin arrives because she knew Tang Hao couldn't defeat 4 Soul Land Masters alone. She is ready to sacrifice herself. Handing the infant baby to Tang Hao, she dies. With her death, a lot of blue silver grass sprouts, as her soul spirit was blue silver grass. This infant is none other than Tang San, and Yin had made Tang Hao promise that he would raise him well. Now, Tang Hao watches over his son and misses Yin dearly. He talks to the blue silver grass, imagining it as Yin. Meanwhile, Tang San is trying to absorb the 3rd spirit ring and remembers Zewu. He is facing a lot of difficulty in absorbing the spirit ring, as the spider was extremely powerful and he cannot tolerate it. If he stops midway, his life could be in danger. Just then, Zewu comes running and everyone is overjoyed to see her alive. She tells them that the giant ape got nervous after hearing the roar of a bull and let her go. She also tells them that she reached level 30 and saw a beast at night. She defeated it and obtained a spirit ring. Everyone is happy to hear this. But their tension doesn't fade, as Tang San is absorbing a very powerful spirit ring, and now they are just waiting for him to wake up. On the other side, the Grandmaster goes to meet the Dean of Shrek School. They talk about Tang San, and the Grandmaster hears everything that happened. He realizes that it was Tang Hao who beat up Mr. Tin, and he shows the Dean Tang Hao's badge. We then see Tang San, who is still absorbing the spirit ring, and finally, he succeeds. Everyone is very happy. But then, Tang San starts to mutate. A spider-like leg emerges from his waist. Mr. Zhao understands that during absorption, the spider and Tang San mutated, and now the situation is about to worsen. Hearing this, all the children become scared and ask for a solution. Mr. Zhao says there is only one solution. They have to wait. Tang San becomes unconscious again and first dreams of Zewu leaving him. Then he reaches his past life again, where we learn why he had stolen secret knowledge from the secret library in his previous life. Tang San loved reading and gaining different knowledge. He wanted to study various techniques and weapons and even made many of his own. But no one there valued his talent. The children around him wouldn't even look at his weapons. They would criticize him in front of him and break his weapons. This made Tang San very frustrated. He now wanted to gain higher and secret knowledge. He asked the elders to let him study the secret weapons in the secret library. The elders got very angry, saying no one had the right to learn about those weapons and that knowledge. They scolded him and expelled him from the clan. Now Tang San had to somehow gain the secret knowledge from the books inside the library. That's why he decides to sneak into it that very night. He wanted to go inside and read the secret scriptures. The library had 2 levels of security. The first level had guards patrolling, and the second level was guarded by lasers and 3 elders. Now Tang San had to break through both security levels to get inside. Though he could have used his hidden weapons to kill the guards outside, he deeply loved the Tang sect and owed it much. So, he sneaks in and manages to bypass the first level of security. Then he sees the secret scriptures, around which many lasers are present, and 3 elders are guarding them. Somehow, Tang San creates a distraction outside, which causes the elders to rush toward the noise, and Tang San quickly navigates through the lasers to get the secret scriptures. As soon as he opens the scriptures, the emperor of the Tang sect arrives and tells him that the world only knows about the 2 levels of security, but no one knows there's a 3rd level and he personally guards it. The emperor says, for this crime, you will be banished from the Tang sect. Tang San becomes sad and replies, I came here as a child and was raised here. I will only leave when death comes to take me, and it seems that time has come now. Saying this, he attempts suicide using his hidden weapon. But the emperor stops him and begins telling him the truth about the Tang sect. Over time, the Tang sect had become a major power and gained widespread fame. But outside the sect, discrimination between rich and poor had increased. Outsiders who wanted to learn the secret techniques were not allowed, and the royal-born insiders lacked the ability to truly master them. As a result, many techniques were lost. The emperor says, so you, being an outsider, coming here to take this knowledge is not wrong, but it's against our rules. That's why the elders must be after you. I forgive you, but now you must escape from them. He gives Tang San the secret scripture and tells him to learn from it. Meanwhile, Tang San starts regaining consciousness and is very happy to see Zewu Zhu safe in front of him. But suddenly, spider legs start emerging from Tang San's waist, shocking everyone. Mr. Zhao tells him to control it. Tang San begins meditating and, after great effort, becomes capable of controlling the spider legs. As they are talking, suddenly many small spiders arrive. These were the children of the giant spider Tang San had just killed. Though they were just babies, Tang San and the others decide to fight them. Tang San gives everyone his hidden weapons. Everyone is shocked to see these weapons, as they had never seen anything like them before. Using these weapons, they kill all the spiders. Rong really likes the hidden weapons and wants to buy one from Tang San. But Tang San says, I will give it to you for free after some time. Then he tells everyone he will gift them a hidden weapon each, and they start heading back to school. They return using Oscar's flying sausage. Mr. Zhao tells the dean everything that happened. Then the Grandmaster also arrives. They begin talking about the giant ape, and Mr. Zhao asks the Grandmaster about the beast whose sound had made the giant release Zewu. The Grandmaster explains that it was the azure bull python, which is even more powerful than the giant ape. If the ape is the king of the jungle, then the bull python is the emperor. He also narrates a story. Once a very powerful soul master went into the forest to hunt the giant. Confident in his abilities, he challenged the giant while it was drinking water at a lake. But then a terrifying voice came from the lake. It was the bull python, who could even speak human language. The python told the warrior to leave, and without hesitation, the warrior fled, realizing its power. Then they talk about Oscar, acknowledging that he is very talented. In fact, everyone at Shrek School is highly talented, which is why the Grandmaster decides to personally train them all. He calls all the kids to the ground and introduces himself as their new teacher. While they are still talking, Tang San's spider legs suddenly become uncontrollable, striking randomly. During this chaos, one sting hits Fatty, Ma Hongjun, and he falls unconscious. The Grandmaster immediately goes to Tang San and tells him to take deep breaths. He instructs him to imagine that these legs are his own bones and to absorb them back into his body. Tang San follows his instructions and successfully regains control. He quickly takes Fatty to Oscar's room. The Grandmaster and Tang San go there, and the Grandmaster tells Tang San to extract the poison. Tang San is very scared because Fatty's life is at risk. But if he doesn't extract the poison, Fatty will die anyway. So he obeys and manages to extract the poison, saving him. Tang San comes outside and tells everyone that he may not be able to control his spirit ring yet. Then he and Zewu discuss the spirit rings. Next, Tang San meets the Grandmaster, who scolds him for carelessly killing a 1,000-year-old spider and absorbing its spirit ring. Tang San apologizes and promises not to act recklessly again. The Grandmaster asks him to demonstrate the power of his new spirit ring. Tang San shows his blue-silver plant, whose ring has now grown and become stronger. His poison power has also become more lethal. Now Tang San has become so powerful that even a poison master's attacks would not affect him. Tang San now wants to create hidden weapons for his friends too, using his memories from the past life and the secrets from the scripture. That's why he decides to open a weapons business in the city, which would earn him money to fund his creations. He visits the biggest blacksmith shop in the city, where many expert craftsmen are making weapons. Tang San goes to the owner and tells him he has a business opportunity, but they need to talk privately. As they walk toward a room, he sees Iron Dragon and Iron Tiger, the owner's sons, the best craftsmen around. Inside the room, Tang San proposes, I will give you 100 soul coins. In return, I need a workspace where I can use your tools to make great weapons. We will share the profit from the sales. The owner likes the idea but doubts whether a child can actually make weapons. He asks about Tang San's skills. When he learns that Tang San has reached rank 30, he is shocked. The sons enter and happily tell their father that Tang San saved them once from his partner, who was about to kill them, but he spared them. They confirm that Tang San is very powerful. Hearing this, the owner becomes very pleased and agrees to the business proposal. Tang San then returns to school and sees Zewu. They both promise to stay together forever and grow closer to each other. Just then, Ning Rongrong calls out, and they get embarrassed and head back to the school. They all celebrate Tang San reaching rank 30, enjoying a party together. The next morning, the Grandmaster personally prepares breakfast for everyone. Then they all gather in a line on the training ground. The Grandmaster announces the beginning of intense training. He calls Mr. Dai and tells him to fight each member one by one. He also instructs that no one should get hurt. When it's Tang San's turn, the Grandmaster says he won't use his third spirit ring. Mr. Dai responds, Tang San can use his third ring if he wants. I'll defeat him even with that. But the Grandmaster refuses and warns, if Tang San uses his spider powers, you might not survive. Everyone laughs, but Mr. Dai insists. The Grandmaster then allows Tang San to use his third ring. The battle begins, and Tang San traps Mr. Dai in a spider web. Struggling to escape, poison spreads in Mr. Dai's body. The match is stopped, and Tang San removes the poison. The Grandmaster then emphasizes the importance of teamwork, motivating them to always fight from the same side. Next, Fatty fights Oscar and wins. Then Mr. Dai fights Fatty, and it turns into an iconic level match. At first, Mr. Dai seems weaker, but then he goes full power, and both fight fiercely. Seeing their battle, the Grandmaster asks Zewu to show her third spirit ring. Tang San and Zewu fight. Tang San tries to trap her in the spider web, but she's too fast and strong. She grabs him tightly, and when he again uses the web, they both get trapped. A romantic moment develops between them. Since there's no clear winner between Mr. Dai and Fatty, the match is stopped. The Grandmaster points out flaws in everyone's fighting techniques and gives them advice to improve. Finally, it's Zewu's turn, but the Grandmaster finds no flaws in her. Everyone is shocked. He then reveals that her third spirit ring gives her the power of a lightning speed rabbit that's thousands of years old. She can even teleport midair using this technique. Because everyone made some mistake, they're all given punishment to run laps carrying bags full of stones. Even those who didn't make mistakes join in, as they can't bear to watch their friends suffer alone. Everyone starts doing it, and because the bags were too heavy, they begin getting tired midway. Mr. Dai and Tang San were the strongest among them, so they take out some stones from the bags of the weaker ones, Oscar and Ning Rongrong, and put them into their own bags. But even then, after walking some distance, they start feeling exhausted. The Grandmaster had also arranged for water supplies at intervals to restore their energy, but still, they were weakening. They also couldn't use Oscar's flying sausage because the Grandmaster had forbidden them from using soul power. Now, as they keep walking, they get extremely tired. But they couldn't quit the punishment given by the Grandmaster. A long time passes while they walk. Just then, the kids from the other school show up. They had made a plan. Since the Shrek kids are tired, now's the best time to beat them up. They grab Fatty, Ma Hongjun, put their foot on him, and then challenge Tang San to a fight. Even though Tang San was exhausted, he was still strong enough to defeat them all alone, and then everyone enjoys a good laugh about it. After that, they continue the punishment. Tang San was carrying the most rocks, so his speed became slow, and when everyone else had finished their rounds, he still had 2 left. Tang San remembers that in his past life he was alone, with no friends, but in this life, he has so many. Thinking about this makes him really happy, and he understands that the Grandmaster gave them this punishment to teach them the power of friendship. He begins to complete his remaining 2 rounds, but collapses due to fatigue. The others also faint from exhaustion. When they wake up, they find themselves in their rooms, in a hot bath filled with medicinal herbs. The Grandmaster had arranged all of it. Then he calls them for dinner and feeds them very nutritious food. Everyone feels happy after eating, as they had trained intensely that day. After dinner, they all go to sleep. The next morning, all the students are called back to the training ground. The Grandmaster tells Tang San to complete his 2 remaining rounds. But this time, all the other kids run with him, and that's how they continue the day's training. Meanwhile, Tang San had started his secret hidden weapons business, which began making good profit. Over the next 3 months, he creates many different types of hidden weapons and decides to give some to his friends. Then one day, while Oscar and Tang San are sitting in a room, Fatty, Ma Hongjun, shows up, badly beaten. He explains that he liked the girl and was trying to impress her. While following her, a thug appeared and tried to attack the girl. Fatty helped her escape, but during the fight, the thug beat him badly. That thug had 4 spirit rings and was a notorious criminal who used to kidnap girls and assault them. Everyone was troubled by him. His name was Buell. Now Tang San and the others decide to go after Buell, since he had harmed their friend. While looking for him, they also see Zhu Zhuqing, the cat girl, who joins them in the search. They don't find Buell right away, so they make a trap plan. Zhu Zhuqing walks alone in the dark alleys, acting innocent. Seeing her beauty, Buell shows up. She pretends to ask for candy, and Buell lures her into a dark alley, attempting to assault her. Just then, Zhu Zhuqing attacks him using her spirit ring abilities. Her special ability was speed, and she beats Buell so fast he doesn't even get a chance to defend. His bones crack and break. He becomes so injured that he won't recover for 3 months. The Shrek students laugh and celebrate because they had just taken down a big thug, but Tang San still feels something is missing. So, he hangs Buell on top of the tallest building in town with a board around his neck saying, "I am a big criminal. I have done terrible things to many girls." Seeing him hanging there, 2 of his friends arrive, use their soul power to bring him down, and ask who did this to him. His body was shattered and barely moving. Buell tells them everything, and now they plan revenge on the Shrek students. Meanwhile, inside the school, the Grandmaster and the Dean are talking. The Dean complains that the school's budget is getting tight because the Grandmaster is feeding them too much and using expensive ingredients for training. But the Grandmaster tells him not to worry. He already has a plan that will take care of their finances. The Grandmaster gathers all the kids and explains the Soul Arena again. He tells them to enter competitions there. It will improve their skills and earn them money. He lays out the rules. No one except Tang San will use hidden weapons. Everyone must earn a silver badge to graduate. Oscar asks, "Since Ning Rongrong and I belong to the assistance branch, do we also fight?" The Grandmaster says no, and then tells them all to hide their identities. He gives them masks and code names based on their abilities so they can blend in during the fights. The competition starts. In the first match, Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing team up to fight a team called Cat and Mouse, a very strong duo. Tang San uses his third spirit ring and traps them in a spider web, but Mouse bites through it. Still, using their techniques and coordination, Tang San and Zhu Zhuqing manage to win. It's an iconic level fight. Next, Mr. Dai and Oscar fight and win easily. Then the cat girl, Zhu Zhuqing, and Ning Rongrong win their match too. Out of 5 2v2 fights, Shrek wins 3, a great score. The Dean is thrilled. But now the Grandmaster tells them the real challenge is coming. They will face a much stronger opponent in a full 7v7 battle. Tang San is chosen as the team leader. He gives the strategy, and everyone listens carefully because this match is very important. The host announces both teams inside the ring and introduces them to the audience. Shrek's team name, Shrek 7 Devils. Opponent, Frenzy Battle Team, who have won 7 matches in a row. After introductions, both teams return to their hotel rooms. The Frenzy Battle Team members come to the Shrek team's room and start misbehaving with Zhu Zhuqing and threaten the Shrek team. Mr. Dai gets angry, fights one of them, but is pushed back in one move. The opponent was very strong. Zhu Zhuqing gets furious and tries to fight, but Tang San stops her. Then the Frenzy Battle Team's teacher shows up, ends the fight, and warns them. "If you're so eager to fight, do it in the ring tomorrow." Anyway, everyone who's fought us till now is either dead or hospitalized. He tries to intimidate them and leaves. After he's gone, Oscar jokes that they're just trying to mess with their morale, and for the first time, he actually makes sense. Everyone laughs. They now understand that the enemy was just using mind games. Mr. Dai tells everyone to stay calm, and that Oscar and Ning Rongrong will stay in the back to assist. Their protection is top priority. On the way to the arena, Mr. Dai and Tang San discuss the plan to defeat them. They enter the ring, unleash their soul powers, and give their introductions. The scene looks iconic and cinematic. Now, the big battle begins. Now, both sides attack each other in their own ways, but the Frenzy Battle Team focuses more on Ning Rongrong and Oscar. They want to injure Oscar and Ning Rongrong first because they were supporting from the back by providing power. The Frenzy Battle Team tries to hurt Oscar, but Tang San stops them using the blue-silver plant. Then, a major fight breaks out between everyone. Suddenly, Tang San remembers what the Grandmaster had explained to them the day before, that they should target the Assistance Branch members in the Frenzy Battle Team. This is because the warrior from the Assisted Branch is of Millennium rank, which means he can greatly boost his team's strength from the back. Now, Tang San and the others head toward the Assisted Branch member. But they delay in doing so, and during that time, the Assisted Branch warrior uses his soul power to enhance everyone's strength and power, making them all extremely powerful. Now, they are capable of defeating Shrek School. So, Tang San uses Oscar's flying sausage to fly up into the air. The Shrek School starts flying up to avoid attacks from the Frenzy Battle Team, but they are still being attacked with stones and webs. Actually, in the sky, Tang San is waiting for the Assisted Branch members' soul power to deplete, because only after that will Tang San and the others be able to defeat them. But his soul power is going to last for a long time, and in the meantime, the Frenzy School students injure all the Flying Shrek students. Now, only Tang San is left. The Flying Sausage's power also runs out, and now everyone comes back down. Tang San, who is now alone, has to fight the Frenzy Battle Team by himself. But the good news is that the Assisted Branch warrior's soul power is now drained. Even then, the Frenzy Battle Team is fully confident because now they only have to defeat Tang San. There are 6 of them, and only one Tang San. But they don't know how powerful Tang San really is. So, when a spider girl tries to trap him with a web, Tang San doesn't get caught. Instead, the spider girl gets caught in her own web because her third spirit ring is also a spider. Everyone starts cheering for Tang San, but he quiets them down because he still has more to do. Tang San uses his silver plant to capture the remaining 6 warrior kids and injures all of them at once, winning the battle. Now, the audience cheers even louder than before for Tang San, and thus Shrek School wins. Everyone becomes very happy. They all return to their room, where the Grandmaster praises them, and everyone is overjoyed. The Grandmaster then tells them to rest today because from tomorrow, they'll have to fight 2 battles per day. The 3 teachers then go outside and joke around among themselves. The next day, they again fight similar battles, and after many such battles, Shrek School keeps winning. Tang San's team becomes famous all over the city, and even small kids in the city start wearing Shrek's 7 Devils masks. The Shrek 7 Devils had won 27 consecutive matches without losing. That's why their name had become so renowned. Then, one day, the Grandmaster goes to register for the next day's fight, and while registering, the head of the Soul Arena comes to meet him and puts forward a request. He tells the Grandmaster that silver rank warriors from another city's Soul Arena are coming to fight, and their Soul Arena doesn't have any silver badge team capable of defeating them. In fact, no team here can even last 5 minutes against them. So he wants Shrek's 7 Devils to fight against them. At first, the Grandmaster refuses, because having Shrek's 7 Devils fight silver badge warriors seems like too much. But the owner of the Soul Arena convinces him, saying that anyone can see from their fighting skills that they are capable of silver badge level, and they're about to get their silver badge anyway. And if they fight this match, they'll be awarded 10,000 gold coins from the Soul Arena. Hearing this, the Grandmaster agrees, and after taking the details of the opponent team, he leaves. Then he returns to the room and tells everyone about it. He says that from the 10,000 gold coins, everyone will keep 1,000 each, and the remaining 3,000 will be used for the school's development. Everyone agrees with this. Then they start discussing the opponent team members. A long discussion takes place, where they discuss each opponent one by one. What exactly they discussed will be explained during the match, because if we explain it now, it might seem too complex and go over your head. So after all the planning, Tang San motivates his team members and says that since we've won 27 matches in a row, we'll win this one too and bring glory to our school. Everyone gets very motivated and cheers together. The team they are going to fight is called the Emperor Battle Team. It's a very powerful team. Now we see this team, where their leader comes in and tells his team everything about the Shrek 7 Devils. After reading the details, they realize that tomorrow's match is not going to be easy. The next day, the match begins, and this time the Soul Arena is decided to be even bigger. 20,000 spectators have come to watch today's match because it's going to be on a very grand level. One by one, everyone makes heroic entries into the ring and starts advancing towards each other. Now, Dean sees the opposing team's leader and finds him familiar. When the Grandmaster asks him about it, Dean says he'll tell him after the match. Inside the ring, everyone releases their spirit souls, and the scene looks amazing. Then we see the leader of the opposing team, who has the blue lightning tyrant dragon soul ring, of very strong power. Among the top 20 soul types, one is the lightning tyrant dragon. Alongside the leader is a warrior girl who has poisonous powers, and there's a boy on their team whose spirit soul is a panther. Likewise, each member of their team has dangerous spirit souls. First, they begin with hand-to-hand combat. But Tang San knows very well that in hand-to-hand combat, Shrek School will lose because the opponent is too powerful. So he starts executing the plan they made the previous day, to attack the assistant branch warrior so the rest of the team weakens a bit. The ones doing hand-to-hand combat begin to lose, and Tang San saves his team using his blue-silver plant. Now the opponent leader's attention shifts to Tang San and he attacks him. But for now, the situation is under Tang San's control, so he dodges it. Tang San had also planned to attract the leader's attention because the leader comes from a big family and is full of arrogance. Tang San plans to engage him in a one-on-one combat. When the leader begins to lose, he will act out of arrogance and make a mistake, and the Shrek 7 Devils will take advantage of that and win. According to plan, that's what happens. The leader, out of arrogance, unleashes his energy called Fury of Thunderbolt, and Tang San decides to use his blue-silver plant to neutralize it. But the released energy is so powerful that Tang San fails to fully neutralize it. However, he still manages to block most of the attack, preventing heavy damage to the Shrek 7 Devils. Then the cat girl and others get angry and attack the other warriors, excluding the leader. Now Shrek School starts to win. Zhu Zhuqing, Zhu Wu, attacks the leader. Since the leader was already a bit injured, and Zhu Zhuqing has high speed and her third spirit ring now, she lifts him into the air and beats him up, injuring him further. Seeing her leader injured, the serpent girl becomes furious because she liked the leader. She immediately releases the deadliest poison of her clan, not caring that it could even kill. She's now overtaken by rage. Tang San quickly pulls his team members back using blue-silver plant and uses a trick. The serpent girl had attacked him with poison, something Tang San had been dealing with since childhood using hidden weapons. In his previous life, He had studied poison deeply. So now he comes up with an idea to nullify the poison. He takes out alcohol from his belt and asks Fatty, Ma Hongjun, to light it on fire. The alcohol, mixed with antidote, spreads through the air, nullifying the poison. All the kids from Shrek School become very happy. They begin fighting again, and now Shrek's 7 devils appear to be winning. But then the warrior with the Black Panther soul ring steps forward, and the rest of the opponents also start using their soul power. Together, they all attack Zhu Zhuqing and Tang San. Tang San gets busy fighting them, but Zhu Zhuqing gets trapped in the air. She tries to teleport and escape, but keeps getting more trapped. She gets injured in the process and starts falling. Tang San catches her midair and becomes very upset upon seeing her unconscious. Now Tang San becomes extremely angry after seeing Zewu unconscious, and the rest of the team members also don't like it at all. To face the enemies, Catgirl and Mr. Dai step forward. Catgirl and Mr. Dai fuse their soul power with each other, and the beast created from that fusion attacks the enemy. To fuse their soul power, trust was necessary, and because their powers merged perfectly, it becomes clear that Mr. Dai and Catgirl trust each other. Their attack was supposed to cause huge damage, but even then, they still can't harm the opponent team, and Catgirl ends up weakened. Now Tang San gets angry and uses his 3rd spirit ring to unleash his mutated soul power, and he begins attacking them with poison stings. Tang San becomes so aggressive that he attacks without thinking, and everyone gets affected by his poison. No one is left to stand against him. So Tang San's team wins the match. Then Tang San remembers his teacher's words that he must not take anyone's life, so he prepares to extract the poison from each of them one by one. But from the opponent team, the warrior who has healing powers is told to first heal Zewu. After healing her, Tang San removes everyone's poison and the team leaves with their victory garlands. The defeated team returns to their room and sits silently, feeling sad. Their captain motivates them to learn from their failure. Meanwhile, the Shrek School kids go to the Grandmaster and begin bragging about their victory and joking around. They had undergone intense training, so Mr. Zhao asks for a few days of rest. The Grandmaster agrees to give them 15 days, after which their Phase 3 training will begin. While they're talking, the captain of the opponent team arrives and, surprisingly, greets the dean and Mr. Zhao. We learn that his name is Qi Ming, and he was once a student of Shrek School. The dean introduces him to the Grandmaster, and Qi Ming greets him, but the Grandmaster looks at him strangely. Everyone finds this odd, and then it's revealed that the Grandmaster is actually his uncle. They belong to the same family, but due to conflicts with his father and elder brother, the Grandmaster cut all ties and left. Qi Ming meets his juniors, but learns this is Shrek School's last batch because the school's financial problems haven't been solved. Everyone becomes sad because Shrek School feels like a family to them, and now it's closing. The Shrek kids go to the Soul Arena to collect their credits. Their scores are excellent, and all of them reach the silver badge level, while Tang San reaches the gold badge level. Meanwhile, Qi Ming prepares to return home with his injured team. On the way, the Grandmaster meets him privately. Qi Ming first asks him to return home because his father and brother miss him, but the Grandmaster refuses. They discuss the match, and the Grandmaster tells him his loss was due to arrogance. Qi Ming accepts this. He always stayed overconfident because of his blue Titanium Arctics. He promises not to repeat the mistake. He asks to become the Grandmaster's disciple, but the Grandmaster refuses, saying he only teaches at school. He tells Qi Ming that if he ever wants to test his capability, he should fight Tang San. The day he defeats Tang San, he will become a great soul dance master. Qi Ming dislikes hearing this, believing he'd win in a one-on-one fight. But the Grandmaster insists he won't defeat Tang San and will understand later. They later sit for dinner, and Qi Ming joins them. When he reveals he is level 62, everyone is shocked. Qi Ming admires them and invites them to study at Heaven Do Imperial Academy. Hearing this, the dean gets angry, asking if he thinks Shrek School doesn't give proper education. The Grandmaster calms the situation and explains that for the Continental Elite Tournament next year, only graduates of registered schools can participate, and Shrek School is not registered. If the kids graduate from here, they cannot join the tournament. The dean struggles to accept this because this is the last batch and they would be leaving midway. He built the school with his blood and sweat, and now his heart breaks. But he cannot deny the Grandmaster's logic. He leaves upset, but Fatty goes to console him, explaining that although he taught them everything, now they need a proper name, a brand, which only a registered school can give. The dean's heart softens, and he agrees. The Grandmaster's condition is that all Shrek teachers will teach inside the new academy, and that the academy will only provide its name. Their teachers won't teach the Shrek kids. The kids return to Shrek School. They have 2 months before going to the academy and are given 2 months rest. Tang San goes to Ning Rong Rong and tells her about the hidden weapons he made for the Qin tribe, planning to deliver them personally later. Tang San returns to his room, creates more weapons using his soul power, and after many days, his new weapon is finally ready. He shows it to everyone, and they're shocked by its power. It can crush heavy objects and act as a rope over long distances. He gives each person a weapon, and everyone is very happy because such weapons don't exist anywhere in this world. 2 months pass. Before sending them to the academy, the dean wants to train them, so he tells them to run. After intense training, everyone returns exhausted. Later, Zewu comes to Tang San's room and says her legs hurt, asking if he can massage them. He agrees, and they go into the forest. Tang San massages her legs, and the scene becomes romantic, but only from Zewu's side. She tries flirting innocently, but Tang San stays awkward and treats her only as a friend. They return, and Tang San's friends tease him because they saw everything. Since they haven't fought anyone in 2 months, the dean takes them to the Seoul arena and registers them. They learn that no one at their level is available because no one has reached gold badge. They find one team, but all members are above level 40 and either kill their opponents or badly injure them. The team is called Fiend Battle Team, and they're extremely dangerous. The Grandmaster agrees to fight them, but the dean and others are against it. They fear the Shrek kids will die. But after the Grandmaster whispers something, the dean agrees. A sponsorship is also offered. If they win, they will receive 30,000 gold coins. The Grandmaster instructs them to use their best skills and even Tang San's hidden weapons. He tells them that even if blood must be spilled, they must spill it. No mercy. Everyone is shocked but obeys. The match begins. The enemy attacks Cat Girl together. Frightened, she uses Tang San's hidden weapon, and instantly the entire opponent team dies. Seeing this, the Shrek kids vomit and get terrified. They had never killed anyone before. They killed humans just to win a fight. Except for Tang San and Mr. Dai, everyone begins regretting it. Tang San explains that the enemies were members of a terrorist group and needed to be killed. The Grandmaster wanted to train them to face real evil someday, without hesitation. They understand and calm themselves. Even the dean feels sad, but the Grandmaster's decision was correct. They decide that 90% of the reward money will go to the families of the dead men. The Shrek kids return to their rooms. None of them can sleep, but they know they must face such things eventually. Grandmaster wants to get Tang San and the others admitted to the Dao Imperial School. All the kids arrive there along with the dean and Mr. Dai. When they reach the school, they are shocked to see its beauty because it was extremely huge. As soon as they enter the school, the spoiled rich students studying there come and try to trouble them. When they find out that these children are from Shrek School, they start making fun of them. One of those rich kids even attacks a Shrek School student. But Mr. Dai handles him alone and beats up all the rich kids present there. Everyone is shocked to see that such big school students are getting beaten by one man. Just then, Kuming arrives. Kuming is the teacher here and the leader in battles. He scolds the rich students and then takes the Shrek kids inside. On the way, he talks politely with them, and they learn from Kuming that this school has many facilities like training areas, mimicry zones, grounds, lakes, and mountains where children practice. There are highly qualified teachers as well, but despite all this, the students here are not very capable. They are spoiled and lack discipline, so the school doesn't get many quality students, and those who are good are very few. That's why Kuming brought Shrek School's children here, so the school can finally get capable students. They reached the board members of the school. There were 3 of them, and all 3 were extremely strong. They introduced themselves and mentioned their ranks. Everyone gets shocked when they hear their ranks: 86, 83, and 85. The board members welcome all the teachers respectfully and take them inside the hall. They talk among themselves, and we also see here that the dean is still sad about the downfall of Shrek School. One of the board members stands up and asks the Grandmaster about the child he had heard about, the one from the controlling branch and the strongest among them. As soon as Tang San steps forward, the board member starts releasing his energy toward him to test his abilities. Tang San endures the pain, but the board member keeps increasing the level of his energy. Tang San feels more pain. His spirit soul starts emerging, yet he holds on. Seeing this, everyone becomes happy, and the board members realize how powerful Tang San is. While they are talking, a very powerful Grand Solan Master arrives from outside the hall. His nephew is with him, the same rich kid who was beaten by Mr. Dai. This Grand Solan Master is the direct manager of the school, meaning he holds a higher position than the board members. He has come to fight because Mr. Dai beat up his nephew. He brings a powerful warrior with him, a poison master whose rank is above 90. Mr. Dai tries to attack again, but the poison master's poison affects him from a distance, and he cannot even get close. The Grandmaster and everyone else realizes the seriousness of the situation. Even if all of them attack together, they might not survive the poison master's poison. The direct manager mocks Shrek School badly. The dean tries to step forward and fight, but the Grandmaster stops him and says, "We don't care about our own lives, but these children are here with us. If anything happens to us, they will also die." The direct manager insults them and tells them to leave. Kuming and the board members don't like this at all, but they cannot do anything. They leave the school. Kuming resigns in anger and goes with them. While leaving, they see a school in the city. Kuming tells them he knows the principal of this school, and maybe they can become teachers here and the children can study here. Everyone agrees, and they meet the school manager, who becomes very happy after hearing their levels, all above 60. He asks them to meet the principal. When they arrive, they find out the principal is a lady. For some reason, the Grandmaster avoids looking at her. We learn that she and the Grandmaster had a past relationship but got separated due to circumstances. She becomes emotional after seeing him after 20 years. The Dean handles the situation and talks to her. 20 years ago, the Dean, the Grandmaster, and this lady were a powerful team known as the Golden Iron Ring. They request the lady principal for teaching positions. She agrees and says, "Ever since we separated, I haven't been able to live happily. Now this school will be named after you, and from today, the Dean will be the new principal." She renames the school Shrek School again. Everyone becomes extremely happy, but the Grandmaster is still sad and sits silently. During dinner, he calls Tang San and shares his past, how his spirit soul mutated when he was young, how he couldn't cultivate further, and how he focused on theoretical knowledge. He left his home and went to another city, where he was once beaten by kids. The Dean saved him that day, and they became best friends. Both the Dean and the Grandmaster fell in love with the same girl, the same lady principal. She loved the Grandmaster, not the Dean. Even then, the Dean sacrificed his feelings and got them married. But right after the wedding, her family came and forcefully took her away. The Grandmaster later learned she was actually his cousin. Shocked and emotionally broken, he left her and tried to commit suicide, but the Dean saved him. She cut ties with her family and searched for him all these years, but the Grandmaster always stayed away. Tang San advises him to talk to her. She overhears everything, begins crying, and tells him, "Now that I have found you, I will never let you go again." They hug emotionally. As Tang San leaves them alone, the Poison Master suddenly attacks him and drags him into his territory. Because Tang San had defeated his granddaughter earlier, he wants to kill him. Tang San warns him, "You may kill me, but your poison is also killing you from inside. It is even affecting your granddaughter. Rainy days make it worse. She won't live long." The Poison Master stops attacking, shocked. He deeply loves his granddaughter and asks for a cure. Tang San says, "If I cure her, you might kill me afterward." But the Poison Master promises not to harm him if he saves his granddaughter. He is a man of his word. To test Tang San, he takes him to his garden and challenges him to create antidotes for 3 poisons he will prepare. If Tang San succeeds, he will believe him. If he fails, he will kill him. He shows Tang San a legendary lava and ice pond famous for its power. Tang San starts collecting herbs, but one important herb is on the ice lake, where even strong beasts freeze instantly. The Poison Master had warned him not to go, but Tang San still heads toward it. Now, Tang San is giving his best and searching for herbs to prepare those medicines. While searching, Tang San notices an herb growing on top of an icy lake. He moves toward it and tries to cut it with his knife, but the knife strikes the ice and breaks on the spot. Still, somehow, Tang San manages to obtain this ice herb. In the same way, he also manages to obtain a fire herb. After that, Tang San mixes both the fire and ice herbs together and eats them at once. Even though both herbs are poisonous, the fire and ice neutralize each other. Because of this, Tang San adapts to the environment of this place and is now able to survive here and search for many different kinds of herbs. Meanwhile, we see the Grandmaster, the Dean, and the lady who are searching for Tang San. At that moment, the Poison Master arrives and tries to stop them. The Grandmaster asks him angrily where he has hidden his disciple Tang San, but the Poison Master refuses to answer. This leads to an argument, and soon they begin fighting each other using their soul power. The Grandmaster, the Dean, and the lady use a technique from 20 years ago and form the Iron Triangle formation, and the Grandmaster's dog transforms into a dragon. In response, the Poison Master releases his venom and begins fighting them. Although his venom is extremely powerful, the fight takes place in the air, giving the dragon an advantage, and it begins to overpower him. This angers the Poison Master, and he directly attacks the 3 of them. They are unable to withstand his attack, and their formation breaks apart. The Grandmaster steps forward and says, "Let my disciple go and kill me instead." The Dean also says the same, asking the Poison Master to spare Tang San and kill him instead. The Poison Master moves forward to kill the Dean, but the lady stops him and reveals that they belong to the Blue Lightning family. She warns him that if he harms them, their family will seek revenge. The Blue Lightning family has the power to wipe out the Poison Master's entire lineage. Because of this, the Poison Master decides that he will kill all 3 of them and dispose of their bodies, so their families will never find out what happened or who did it. Just then, the Dean steps forward again and says that if the Poison Master harms them, their family won't kill him. The Great Southland Master himself will come and break his bones. He also reveals that the surname of the Great Southland Master is Tang. Hearing this, the Poison Master becomes frightened because he realizes the Dean is talking about Tang Hao. Although the Poison Master is powerful, Tang Hao is far stronger. Even though the Poison Master hides his fear, he has already said he will kill them, so he suppresses his fear and moves forward to attack. At that moment, Tang San arrives. His spider legs have become poisonous because he had collected many poisonous substances from this place. Tang San tells the poison master that he has already prepared antidotes and that the poison master can test him now. He also says that since he has made the antidotes, the poison master will not be able to harm anyone from Shrek School. The poison master stops and becomes very happy after understanding Tang San's abilities. Tang San then tells him that he can also cure the poison inside his granddaughter because he has already found its treatment. With an arrogant tone, the poison master tells the Shrek School teachers that this child is extremely talented and that he wants to take Tang San with him to study. He says he will take Tang San for only 6 months, during which he will teach him and also allow him to learn about various poisons. The Shrek School teachers agree, but they warn him that Tang San must remain safe. The poison master agrees. After the teachers leave, the poison master tells Tang San that he will now test him, and if Tang San fails, he will kill him. Tang San is shocked and says that the poison master had just promised his teachers to keep him safe, so why is he talking about killing him now? The poison master replies mockingly, "Don't worry, I'll keep your corpse safe." They go to another location, where the poison master releases his strongest poison on Tang San 3 times, one after another. Each time, Tang San neutralizes the poison. From this, the poison master understands that Tang San will easily be able to remove the poison from his granddaughter. When he asks Tang San how he did it, Tang San explains that the previous day he ate both the ice and fire herbs together. It was very risky, but he managed to handle it. The poison master is deeply impressed, but he still doesn't fully trust Tang San. So he grabs Tang San and injects his own poison into him, saying that he will only remove it after Tang San cures his granddaughter. With no other choice, Tang San stays there, studies different poisons, and searches for the best possible medicine to cure the poison master's granddaughter. We are then shown Shrek School, where the other students are training with full dedication because they now have access to better facilities. They are given mimicry grounds and virtual locations, allowing them to train according to their natural attributes. As time passes, 6 months go by, and Tang San gains deep knowledge about poisons. One day, when the poison master comes to see him, Tang San shows him his secret hidden weapons, which are coated with top-quality poison capable of killing even the strongest Soul Land masters. Seeing these weapons, the poison master becomes extremely happy because he has never seen anything like this in his 78 years of life. The poison master then removes the poison from Tang San and pretends to act innocent, saying that he cannot keep Tang San bound forever. In reality, he has become Tang San's friend, and a strong bond has formed between them. Impressed by Tang San's talent, he jokes that if Tang San were 3 years older, he would have married his granddaughter to him. Tang San shyly replies that his granddaughter likes Qi Ming, and he would be the most suitable husband for her. They laugh and joke, and then the poison master asks Tang San about his background. When Tang San says that his father is just an ordinary blacksmith, the poison master realizes that Tang San knows nothing about his father's true identity. Since 6 months have passed, the poison master fulfills his promise of granting Tang San 3 wishes. Tang San's first wish is that the poison master will never harm anyone from Shrek School. His second wish is to take many herbs from this place with him. For his third wish, Tang San asks the poison master to become Shrek School's senior advisor. At first, the poison master refuses, but Tang San explains that he doesn't need to work there. He only needs to hold the title so that Shrek School's reputation improves. Hearing this, the poison master agrees. They both return to Shrek School, where Tang San greets all his teachers and explains everything. When everyone learns that the poison master is willing to become their senior advisor, they are overjoyed. Later, the Grandmaster meets Tang San alone. Tang San teases him by asking questions about his love life, and they joke around. The Grandmaster then says that Tang San hasn't trained for 6 months and must have fallen behind his companions. Tang San replies that although he didn't train traditionally, he practiced poisons extensively, and his rank has reached 37. Hearing this, the Grandmaster is shocked and happily tells him to reach rank 40, as Mr. Dai has already reached that level. Tang San then meets Zewu. As soon as she sees him, she hugs him tightly and starts crying because he left without telling her and was gone for so long. Zewu loves Tang San deeply because she has no one else in this world. Seeing her cry, Tang San comforts her and promises that he will never leave her again. Tang San then meets his other friends and distributes the herbs he brought back, explaining that these herbs will greatly increase their strength. The Grandmaster arrives and warns them about possible side effects, but Tang San assures him that there will be none because these herbs are special and will be taken in limited amounts. Everyone takes their herbs, but one herb remains. Tang San wants to give this last herb to Catgirl. This is the most powerful herb, and it has a story behind it. Once, a man saw a beautiful garden and loved it so much that he created a similar garden near his home. He fell deeply in love with the flowers. One day, a flower goddess descended from heaven, and the two fell in love. But later, the gods arrived and took her away because a heavenly fairy was not allowed to love a human. Heartbroken, the man destroyed his garden. One day, an old man told him that after the fairy left, she reincarnated as a white flower in his garden. Filled with regret, The man rebuilt the garden and cared for the flower day and night. When there was no response, he eventually died beside it. When he died, the blood from his heart splashed onto the flower, turning it into a priceless herb. Whoever cultivates this flower becomes an extremely strong warrior. Tang San wants to give this herb to Cat Girl because only a couple can use it, and in their group, only Cat Girl and Mr. Dai are in a relationship. Cat Girl shyly looks at Mr. Dai and accepts the flower. While using it, one must think only about their partner. Cat Girl tries, but then remembers Mr. Dai's past with many girls, which breaks her focus, and she fails to absorb it. Everyone becomes sad. Tang San then gives the flower to the Grandmaster, who also loves the lady. The Grandmaster tries, but memories of their family problems distract him, and he fails as well. Suddenly, the flower moves on its own and lands in Zewo's hand. Zewu uses it, and is able to focus on positive thoughts, activating the flower. Everyone is happy, but Zewu decides not to absorb it yet. She wants to become stronger first, and will absorb it later, keeping it with her for now. Everyone else meditates and cultivates using their herbs. When they wake up, they find themselves much stronger. Everyone's rank increases by 5 or 6 levels. Ning Rongrong is especially happy and kisses Tang San to thank him, breaking Oscar's heart. Oscar then gestures to Zewu to kiss him, but she angrily beats him up. Finally, Tang San notices his eyes, and we learn that his purple demon eye is further cultivated. With this, he can now see through objects and better understand the soul power of others. Now Mr. Dai looks at Cat Girl and hugs her because he loves her. Although Cat Girl doesn't want to push him away, she is reminded once again of Mr. Dai's flirtatious nature from his past, so she asks him to step back. When Mr. Dai says that he has now become pure and innocent like Tang San, Cat Girl replies that she will check for herself whether he has truly changed or not, and then she leaves. After this, all the kids start teasing Mr. Dai, but he remains calm. Looking toward Cat Girl, he thinks to himself that he will definitely become pure and innocent. Just then, the Grandmaster arrives and meets Tang San. He tells Tang San that because of the herbs Tang San brought, he has broken through level 30 and can now increase his rank further. Tang San becomes very happy because the weakness that made the Grandmaster less effective in fights has now been resolved. However, since the Grandmaster has grown old, he no longer has much desire to increase his rank, and after a certain age, the speed of rank advancement also slows down. Therefore, he decides to continue focusing only on theoretical knowledge. After that, Tang San starts roaming around with the other kids. Suddenly, a masked man appears and attacks them. The masked man is very powerful, but Tang San and the others fight back together. With Tang San's help, they manage to overpower him. Just then, Fatty uses fire to kill the masked man. At that moment, Tang San realizes that the masked man is actually Mr. Zhao, so he immediately blocks the fire and saves him. In reality, Mr. Zhao was testing their increased power. Seeing everyone's performance, he is very happy. He had been holding back during the fight. Otherwise, Mr. Zhao himself is extremely powerful. The Dean, who is standing there, tells Tang San that the Poison Master is calling him. Tang San goes to meet him, and the Poison Master's granddaughter is also present there. Tang San gives her the medicine he prepared. However, the granddaughter is very arrogant. She insults the school and speaks badly about Tang San. In response, the Poison Master makes fun of his own granddaughter and praises Tang San's abilities in front of her. This makes the granddaughter angry, and she says that she is stronger than Tang San and that if he doesn't believe her, he can fight her right now. Tang San calmly replies that if she is so fond of fighting, they can face each other in the upcoming tournament in a few months, and then she can show her skills. The Poison Master knows very well that Tang San is far stronger and that his granddaughter would not be able to win. So he asks Tang San not to hurt her, and Tang San agrees. The Poison Master then bids farewell. Tang San wishes that the Poison Master would stay, but the Poison Master still has unfinished business, which is why he must leave. Later, the Shrek School kids gather around the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster tells them that he, the Dean, and the lady are going into the forest with Mr. Dai because they need to hunt a soul beast to obtain a spirit ring for him. Ning Rongrong also returns to her tribe during this break. When the Dean is leaving, a design slips out from his shirt. When Tang San and the others see it, they are terrified because it is the design of their upcoming school uniform, and they would look very strange wearing it. After they leave, Tang San asks his friends about the teaching methods used here and then attends his first class. In class, Tang San and Zewu sit together on the same bench, laughing and chatting. A senior student notices this. Since he likes Zewu, he comes over and warns Tang San to stay away from her. This leads to an argument, which quickly turns into a fight. Tang San easily defeats the boy, humiliating him. Furious, the boy tries to attack Tang San again, but just then the teacher arrives. The teacher tells them to meet outside after class. After class ends, the two go to the ground and begin fighting again, this time without using spirit souls. The boy believes he will win because he has a muscular body, but Tang San knows martial arts and completely overwhelms him. After losing, the boy leaves sadly and returns home. Later, Tang San and Zewu go to a restaurant to eat. They eat a lot of food and have fun. After that, they decide to go to an auction house because they might find some valuable items there. However, they are stopped at the entrance because the auction house is only for wealthy people, and kids like Tang San are not allowed inside. Tang San then decides to enter as a seller and sell his hidden weapons. He meets the auction house manager and demonstrates his weapons by breaking a very thick steel wall. He explains everything in detail, making the manager realize how powerful these weapons are. Although Tang San gives him a weaker version of his hidden weapon, it is still far more powerful than any other weapon in this world. The manager decides to start the bidding at 1,000 gold coins, which makes Tang San very happy. Tang San and Zewu are given masks and taken inside the auction house. There, Tang San notices several girls working who appear strange and emotionless. This feels unsettling. Just then, a man explains that these girls are brought here at a very young age and are forced to work. They are treated badly, which destroys their emotions and thinking ability, turning them into puppets. Hearing this makes Tang San and Zewu furious, but they are unable to do anything. The auction begins, and the first item is a girl being sold. Zewu becomes extremely angry. The girl is a cat girl, and wealthy people want to buy her for entertainment. Tang San and Zewu don't want anyone to buy her. The same man who explained everything earlier bids the highest amount and buys her to free her. This makes Tang San and Zewu very happy. This man is actually Ning Rongrong's father, who is extremely rich, though Tang San doesn't know this yet. Next, Tang San's hidden weapon is auctioned. Everyone loves it. When Ning Rongrong's father learns that Tang San made this weapon, he is shocked and places a bid of 10,000 gold coins, winning it. Tang San is stunned and gives him another weapon as well to keep things fair. Ning Rongrong calls her father Uncle Sword, and from now on, Tang San also refers to him as Uncle Sword. Tang San and Zewu return to school, where they encounter the boy Tang San had beaten earlier. His name is Tai Long. When Tai Long returned home, his father saw his injuries and learned that Tang San had beaten him. Enraged, Tai Long's father comes to the school to confront Tang San. Tang San and Tai Long's father fight, and initially the father gains the upper hand. Then both use their soul power to attack each other. Tang San uses his third spirit ring and his hidden weapon, poisoning Tai Long's father and bringing him close to death. Seeing this, Tai Long angrily attacks Tang San, but Tang San stops him and warns that if he fights, his father's poison won't be cured and he will die. Hearing this, Tai Long steps back, and Tang San removes the poison. Father and son leave sadly. Meanwhile, Ning Rongrong meets her father, who has returned from the auction house. He happily shows her the weapon he bought, and she immediately realizes that Tang San made it. Uncle Sword also understands that Tang San is Ning Rongrong's friend. While talking, Ning Rongrong thinks about Oscar and blushes. Uncle Sword misunderstands and thinks she is thinking about Tang San, so he suggests she marry Tang San, making her even more embarrassed. Back in his room, Tang San reflects on the fight he had earlier, realizing he was badly injured. Zewu arrives and immediately understands that he is hurt. Tang San meditates to heal himself. Ning Rongrong continues talking with her father and shows him her increased levels, achieved thanks to Tang San's herbs. Her father and grandfather are overjoyed. Ning Rongrong's father has a 7-level pagoda, limiting his rank to 70, but Ning Rongrong now has a 9-level pagoda, meaning she can reach rank 90. This fills her father with pride, and he feels grateful that she attended Shrek's school, as none of this would have been possible otherwise. Finally, we see Tai Long and his father, both saddened by their defeat. Tai Long decides to go to his grandfather, his father's father. Ning Rongrong had returned to her tribe. After she came back, her grandfather wanted to personally check her increased power and also test the weapons shown by Tang San. That is why he asks Ning Rongrong to fight him directly. Soon after, a fight begins between Ning Rongrong and her grandfather. Her grandfather was at rank 97, making him extremely powerful. During the fight, Ning Rongrong starts using one hidden weapon after another. Each time, her grandfather struggles, but still manages to block every single hidden weapon. However, Ning Rongrong then releases her most impressive hidden weapon. This weapon is coated with poison, and because Tang San created this poison after deep research and study, it actually starts affecting her grandfather. Seeing this, Ning Rongrong's father scolds her, while her grandfather tries to heal himself. Ning Rongrong feels extremely sad, thinking that she poisoned her own grandfather, and she begins to cry. But since her grandfather is rank 97, he quickly heals himself and recovers completely. Instead of being angry, he becomes very interested in Tang San's weapon. He then discusses this matter with his son, Ning Rongrong's father, and they decide that they want to buy many such weapons from Tang San and also bring Tang San into their clan. They want to recruit Tang San to strengthen their clan. Meanwhile, we see Tang San opening his eyes after meditation. Because he had absorbed both the cold and lava lakes, his body had become much stronger than before. His purple demon eye had also grown more powerful, which makes him very happy. Later, the three of them head toward class. On the way, Tang San talks to Oscar about Ning Rongrong, and Oscar finally admits that he loves her. While they are talking, news arrives that Tai Long's grandfather has come to challenge Tang San. Tang San immediately goes outside the school to meet him. Zewu quickly goes to Mr. Zhao so that he can help Tang San if things go wrong. Tai Long's grandfather threatens Tang San and says that if Tang San is truly strong, he must accept his challenge. If Tang San fails, he will be killed. The challenge is simple but dangerous. Tai Long's grandfather lights an incense stick, and Tang San must stand alive inside the ring until the incense burns out. If Tang San survives in proper condition, he wins. If he loses, he must join Tai Long's clan. Tang San counters by saying that if he wins, Tai Long's grandfather must join the Tang clan. The grandfather agrees, and the fight begins. When Mr. Zhao sees Tai Long's grandfather, he nervously explains that he once beat one of this man's disciples, and since then the grandfather had been chasing him to beat him up. He barely escaped and became a teacher at Shrek School to survive. Hearing this, everyone realizes how serious the situation is and silently watches Tang San's fight. During the battle, Tang San starts losing badly because the grandfather is extremely powerful and also a soul land master. Just when Tang San is about to be completely crushed, he summons his second martial soul, the hammer, and starts attacking with it. At that moment, Ning Rongrong arrives with her father, who immediately steps in and stops the fight. Ning Rongrong's father is called Uncle Sword. Upon seeing Uncle Sword, Tai Long's grandfather bows respectfully. Uncle Sword is a king of one of the strongest tribes in Soul Land, so the grandfather lowers his head in respect. Uncle Sword meets Tang San, and Tai Long's grandfather suddenly asks Tang San if his father's name is Tang Hao. When Tang San says yes, the grandfather immediately bows deeply to him. It is revealed that Tang Hao is his master and a legendary warrior. Uncle Sword is also shocked upon hearing Tang Hao's name and looks at Tang San with disbelief. Later, both Tai Long's grandfather and Uncle Sword request a private meeting with Tang San. Tang San first goes to his room, changes clothes, and thinks about his father. At this point, he realizes that his father was definitely not an ordinary blacksmith. Tang San meets Tai Long's grandfather first. As soon as he enters, 3 people kneel before him. Tang San helps them up and asks them to call him Tang San, since he is still young. He then asks about his father. The grandfather tells him that Tang Hao was his master. Tang San shows them the last letter left by his father. After reading it, the grandfather breaks down in tears. The letter describes Tang Hao calling himself useless, which deeply pains the grandfather because he was completely devoted to his master. He tells Tang San that since Tang Hao never revealed the truth himself, they do not dare to expose his hidden past. All they can say is that Tang Hao was an extraordinary man. All 3 of them were once members of Tang Hao's clan. After Tang Hao disappeared, they settled in this city and formed their own tribe. Now that Tang San has arrived, he is the rightful owner of that tribe, which contains 217 soul masters who would give their lives at his command. After hearing this, Tang San helps the grandfather stand up, speaks with him a little longer, and then leaves to meet Uncle Sword. On the way, the grandfather warns Tang San that his tribe is not fully trustworthy and that many people doubt them. Tang San acknowledges the warning and leaves. Uncle Sword later meets with Ning Rongrong and her grandfather. Uncle Sword admits that he originally wanted Tang San to join his tribe, but since Tang San is Tang Hao's son, it is no longer possible. However, he is extremely interested in Tang San's hidden weapons and offers to pay a huge price to learn how to make them. Tang San refuses, saying he cannot sell the method he developed through intense research. However, he proposes setting up a factory in Uncle Sword City, where Tang San himself will personally handle the final step. Uncle Sword agrees and offers 10,000 gold coins per weapon. He orders 500 sets, immediately paying 50 million gold coins. After the deal, Tang San leaves. Uncle Sword and his father, Uncle Bone, discuss Tang Hao. They never expected Tang Hao to survive, nor did they expect his son to cultivate at such terrifying speed. Uncle Bone becomes worried, fearing that Tang San's future tribe might threaten Ning Rongrong's tribe. Uncle Sword remains calm, but Uncle Bone is deeply concerned. Tang San returns to his friends, who support him after the intense battle. When they learn that Tang San earned 50 million gold coins, they get extremely excited and surround him jokingly. That night, everyone goes to dinner. On the way, Oscar stops Ning Rongrong and proposes to her. Blushing, she accepts. Oscar happily promises that he will cultivate hard, become strong, and formally ask her father for marriage. Later, Uncle Sword comes to say goodbye to his daughter and tells her to study well with Tang San. Ning Rongrong happily runs to tell Oscar about her tribe's marriage rules, but after seeing him, she postpones the conversation, fearing the rules might scare him away. That night, all the students gather in a room to play games when Mr. Dai arrives. Everyone is thrilled to see him, and he hugs Tang San first. Oscar jokingly says he thought Mr. Dai would hug Catgirl first, making everyone laugh. Thanks to Tang San, Mr. Dai's rank has reached 43. Tang San then visits the Grandmaster and asks about his father. The Grandmaster reveals that he already knew Tang San was Tang Hao's son. Tang Hao had once visited the school and left behind a badge representing all major Soul Land clans. The Grandmaster explains that Tang Hao and his brother Tang Xiao were among the strongest Soul Land warriors. Without formal training, they reached rank 90 and even defeated 2 Grandmasters of the Martial Hall. However, the reason behind their conflict with Martial Hall remains unknown. Tang San feels emotional thinking about his father, but the Grandmaster assures him that Tang Hao never abandoned him and even secretly visited the school. He also reveals that the person who first beat Mr. Zhao might have been Tang Hao himself. This completely shocks Tang San. They then discuss Tang San's blue-silver plant martial soul, after which Tang San asks one final question. Why did both the Grandmaster and his father forbid him from adding a spirit ring to his hammer martial soul? The Grandmaster explains the reason behind this. He says that before Tang San, there were only 2 people in history who possessed dual martial souls. When the first person tried to add spirit rings to both martial souls, the 2 souls became unstable, and one day they completely exploded. The second person succeeded in doing so, but even then, adding spirit rings to both martial souls carries an extremely high risk. Tang San understands this explanation. After that, they both return to the office, where the Grandmaster tells Tang San that a contest will be held in a few days, and once the contest ends, all of them will graduate from Shrek School, meaning they will officially receive their degrees. Hearing this shocks Tang San, because he never imagined that the time he spent here would pass so quickly. They continue talking, and the Grandmaster tells him that teaching at Shrek School was only a small part of his life. What he will learn in the real world will be his true life lessons. The Grandmaster then motivates Tang San for the contest that will take place 6 months later, and Tang San feels fully prepared for it. However, Tang San is worried about Zewu. Everyone else took the herbs and increased their ranks, but Zewu did not take her herb. As a result, her rank is the lowest among them. Tang San believes that because of her low rank, Zewu may not be able to contribute much during the contest. After discussing this with the Grandmaster, he decides that in difficult matches, Zewu will not be included in the team. At that moment, we see Zewu standing outside, secretly listening to their conversation. Hearing Tang San's words makes her upset and irritated. Later that night, Tang San and Zewu go out for a walk together, but Zewu is still angry. She asks Tang San whether he thinks she is weak. Tang San laughs, which irritates her even more, and she challenges him to a fight, saying that they should prove it right now. They begin a friendly sparring match, and Zewu actually starts overpowering Tang San. To stop her, Tang San is forced to use his blue-silver plant, but Zewu easily dodges it as well. Eventually, both of them stop fighting and laugh. Tang San finally realizes that Zewu is extremely strong. During the fight, Zewu's hair gets messy. In a slightly romantic moment, she asks Tang San to comb her hair. However, Tang San tells her to go to sleep instead, saying her hair will get messy again anyway. This makes Zewu angry at first, but then she suddenly becomes emotional and hands him a comb. That comb once belonged to Zewu's mother, who used to comb Zewu's hair with it. It was the only keepsake Zewu had from her mother. The scene becomes deeply emotional. Tang San gently combs Zewu's hair, and Zewu remembers how her mother gifted her that comb and told her that when she finds her future lover, she should let him comb her hair. Today, Zewu is finally doing exactly that. The next day, all the students gather in the field. They are heading into the forest to hunt soul beasts. When Ning Rongrong notices Zewu's hair, she comments that it looks different today. Zewu blushes and looks toward Tang San. Oscar immediately understands what happened the previous night and starts teasing Tang San and Zewu. The group heads deeper into the forest, but they fail to find any soul beasts during the day. Because of this, they decide to set up camp and stay overnight. Since wild beasts could attack, someone needed to stay on patrol. Mr. Dai volunteers to guard first, while the others sleep in the camp. Zewu sleeps beside Tang San and begins remembering the time she has spent with him in the past. Outside, Mr. Dai and the Grandmaster are on guard. Mr. Dai realizes how exhausted the Grandmaster is and asks him to rest. The Grandmaster agrees and goes inside the camp. Everyone falls asleep, but after some time, Tang San hears Mr. Dai shouting. He rushes outside and sees a massive soul beast attacking Mr. Dai. Tang San immediately saves him. At that moment, Lady Arlong arrives and launches an attack on the beast. Lady Arlong is so powerful that the beast does not even get a chance to counterattack. Enraged, she uses her 7th soul ring, which manifests as a dragon. Using a 7th soul ring in this situation was completely unnecessary. It was like using a divine weapon to kill a bird. Tang San asks the Grandmaster why she reacted so fiercely. The Grandmaster explains that when he lay down beside her in the camp earlier, he started cursing his fate because Lady Arlong was nearby but not close to him. He imagined romantic moments, but then he unintentionally pushed her away again. Lady Arlong is still angry about this, and she is venting her anger on the beast. The beast then reveals its true form, becoming far more powerful. Even so, it is still no match for Lady Arlong. All the students are deeply impressed. Motu decides to absorb the soul ring from the defeated beast. The next morning, when everyone sees Motu meditating, they realize he has successfully obtained the soul ring. The dean helps him stabilize it through training. When Motu opens his eyes, he feels much stronger. Suddenly, Lady Arlong walks past them, still radiating intense anger. The terrifying aura around her frightens all the students. They continue deeper into the forest and discuss an important topic. If a very powerful soul beast is killed, but the person absorbing its spirit ring is too young, it can cause serious problems. However, if a soul beast willingly sacrifices itself and offers its spirit ring, then even a 30-year-old person can safely absorb the ring, no matter how powerful the beast was. As they move forward, they notice many animals fleeing in panic. Soon after, poisonous mist spreads through the area. Tang San immediately understands the danger. He gives everyone a pill that makes them immune to poison. Using his purple demon eye, he looks ahead and sees thousands of scorpion-type soul beasts, all extremely poisonous and powerful. This group is called the Pink Group, and their queen is known as Pink Lady. The male scorpion killed by Lady Arlong earlier was Pink Lady's husband, and now she has come for revenge. Although her poison is not instantly fatal, inhaling too much of it would cause death. Lady Arlong prepares to fight Pink Lady, but the Grandmaster stops her, warning her not to act recklessly. Since Tang San has the most knowledge about poison, the Grandmaster asks him what they should do. Tang San says the best option is to escape by flying. Everyone eats Oscar's flying sausages and takes off. Even then, Pink Lady manages to attack them. Lady Arlong descends to fight, slaughtering the scorpions. Pink Lady appears, and the Grandmaster sends Tang San and Motu forward. Tang San traps Pink Lady in his spider web, and Motu uses his fourth spirit ring to severely injure her. The Grandmaster then orders Oscar to kill Pink Lady so he can absorb the spirit ring. Oscar does so and begins absorbing it. Since Oscar belongs to the food branch, Ning Rongrong doubts whether he should absorb a poisonous spirit ring and questions the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster explains that food-type soul masters can never produce poison, no matter how toxic the spirit ring is. Instead, their soul power and skills transform, granting them stronger abilities and enhancing their sausages. Everyone is shocked, but Oscar suffers intense pain due to absorbing a ring from such an old and powerful beast. The Dean praises Motu's fourth spirit ring, and the Grandmaster adds that Motu is now even stronger than Mr. Dai. However, Motu still has weaknesses. His attack range and flight duration are limited. He will always need someone to restrain enemies before he can strike. Despite this, Motu's attacks are extremely powerful, and all the students are geniuses in their own fields. The Dean asks about training Tang San's second martial soul. The Grandmaster explains that Tang San will only train it after reaching rank 80. He then reveals that after the contest, he will take Tang San to the sacred temple. Lady Arlong and the Dean are shocked by this revelation, but the Grandmaster insists it is necessary. Oscar finishes absorbing the ring and announces that his ability has increased by 5%, and anyone who eats his sausages will gain a 10% boost, allowing them to fight at 110% capacity. Everyone is thrilled and continues hunting soul beasts, as 3 students still need spirit rings. After searching for 2 days without success, Tang San suggests using a fragrance herb to lure soul beasts. The downside is that extremely powerful beasts may appear, but they have no other choice. Tang San sets the trap and releases the fragrance, attracting many soul beasts. He also sets a poison trap to weaken stronger beasts. He gives everyone special pills for poison immunity. Soon, a very powerful soul beast appears. Tang San traps it with his spider web, and Motu laughs, amazed at how easily they caught it. Suddenly, the beast breaks free and attacks Motu and Oscar. After that, in order to hunt more soul beasts, Tang San placed a fragrance flower in the area. Attracted by its scent, a very powerful tiger soul beast arrived there. Tang San tried to trap it using his blue-silver plant, but the tiger managed to break free even from that. The tiger then used its shadow clone ability, duplicating itself and launching attacks from multiple directions. No one could tell which one was the real tiger. However, Tang San used his purple demon eye and immediately identified the real one. After that, everyone began attacking the real tiger together. Ning Rongrong boosted everyone's power, increasing all their abilities by 40% this time. With their enhanced strength, everyone attacked together, and an iconic level battle began. During the fight, Catgirl jumped in and managed to seriously injure the tiger. After that, Lady Arlong also entered the battle and beat the soul beast so badly that it was no longer even able to move. Soon, more soul beasts began approaching the area. Because of this, the Grandmaster told Tang San to move the fragrance flower away. Tang San picked it up and then told Catgirl to go near the poison trap, because no soul beast would come there and Catgirl could safely obtain the spirit ring. Just as Catgirl was about to go, all the surrounding soul beasts suddenly gathered there. Among them appeared an extremely powerful creature called the Bro Demon Spider. At this point, all 3 teachers stepped forward. Ning Rongrong powered them up, but because she gave strength to people much stronger than herself, she became severely exhausted and fainted. Taking advantage of this moment, Tang San and the others entered the poison trap area, and soon the 3 warriors also came inside. Tang San then gave each of them a hidden weapon, which they could use to kill the soul beasts. By now, they had successfully obtained the spirit ring for Catgirl. Next, they needed to find a spirit ring for Ning Rongrong. So all the teachers decided to go out and kill another soul beast. They found a beast with extremely high defensive strength and launched an attack on it. However, the beast was too powerful, and they were unable to defeat it. At that moment, Lady Arlong stepped forward in anger and attacked the beast alone. Her attack was so overwhelming that the beast was knocked unconscious. Now it was Tang San's turn. When the Grandmaster asked him which soul beast he wanted, Tang San requested the Bro Demon Spider. Hearing this, everyone was shocked, because the Bro Demon Spider was extremely old, and Tang San was not strong enough to safely absorb its spirit ring. Because of this, the Grandmaster and the others tried to stop him. Zewu also came forward and warned them that if Tang San tried to absorb it, he could suffer soul shock and might even lose his sanity. Despite this, Tang San insisted on choosing this soul beast. He explained that he had learned extensively from the Poison Master, had consumed many rare herbs, and had become highly skilled at absorbing energy. He also possessed the Ice Fire herb, which would allow him to store and stabilize this energy. After hearing this, Zewu realized that Tang San would not change his mind. She then said that if Tang San died, Zewu would commit suicide along with him. Hearing this determination, all the teachers finally agreed. They decided to kill the Bro Demon Spider, and everyone tried to capture it together using their hidden weapons. However, the Bro Demon Spider spun its web and escaped. The Dean then stepped forward and fought it using his soul power, but even he began to struggle against the soul beast. Seeing this, Tang San handed the fragrance flower to Zewu and went to fight the beast himself. Meanwhile, the others moved away with Zewu, but suddenly, a human spider demon attacked them. Zewu and the others tried to fight it. At the same time, Tang San and the Dean worked together, combining soul power and hidden weapons, and finally defeated the Bro Demon Spider. They rendered it unconscious and brought it back toward the others. But when Tang San arrived, he saw that the human spider demon was fighting Zewu, and Zewu was growing weaker. Tang San rushed forward to fight it, but before he could reach her, the human spider demon stabbed Zewu with its venomous stinger, causing her to collapse unconscious. Seeing Zewu injured, Lady Arlong became furious. She immediately attacked the human spider demon and critically injured it in a single strike. Tang San, filled with rage, went to the human spider demon and began torturing it, absorbing energy directly from its body. Meanwhile, all the teachers rushed to Zewu's side and cried for her. All the students were devastated, because it was nearly impossible to survive the poison of a human spider demon. Everyone believed that Zewu had already died. At that moment, the Dean lifted Zewu and used his skills to revive her. Everyone was completely shocked. It was then revealed that when the human spider demon attacked Zewu, its stinger had struck the love-seeking heartbroken Scarlet, preventing the poison from entering her body. She had only fainted from the impact, and now she had regained consciousness. Everyone was overwhelmed with happiness. The scene became deeply emotional. Zewu lay in Lady Arlong's arms, and seeing her made Zewu remember her mother. When Zewu said this out loud, Lady Arlong gently asked her if she could become her mother. Zewu was overjoyed, because she had always longed for someone to call her own. From that moment, they became mother and daughter. The Grandmaster was also very happy, because Lady Arlong finally had someone close to her, someone she could open her heart to. Seeing Zewu safe, Tang San arrived and hugged her, giving her a recovery herb. The scene became extremely emotional. After that, the Dean told Tang San to begin absorbing his spirit ring. Tang San decided to do this inside the Icefire Inyang Spring Lake, because only there would he be able to absorb the energy safely. He warned everyone not to follow him, as the place was extremely dangerous, and told them to stay behind. Tang San then killed the Bro Demon Spider and took it with him to the Poison Master's cave, where he had lived for 6 months. He entered the Icefire Inyang Spring Lake and began meditating to absorb the spirit ring. As the energy became unstable, visions of his teachers and friends appeared before him, and he began to experience unbearable pain. To endure it, he submerged himself deeper into the lake, struggling intensely. Meanwhile, we see the Grandmaster sitting sadly. The Dean comes to him and tells him that he should stop causing Lady Arlong pain, go to her, and stay with her. The Grandmaster initially refuses, saying society would never accept them. The Dean then gives him an idea. He suggests that instead of marriage, they should stay together mentally and emotionally, living together without formal marriage. This way, society would not question their relationship. The Grandmaster likes this idea very much. At the same time, Zewu grows anxious because Tang San has still not returned. Everyone waits for him. Just then, the Grandmaster approaches Lady Arlong and hugs her. Lady Arlong had waited 20 years for this moment, and now it had finally come true. She becomes extremely happy, and the children watching them also feel joyful. The scene turns deeply romantic, and the Grandmaster vows that he will never leave Lady Arlong. Zewu, still worried about Tang San, is comforted by Lady Arlong. Zewu remembers the childhood moments she shared with Tang San. At that very moment, Tang San opens his eyes, having successfully absorbed the spirit ring. Zewu senses this from afar and immediately runs toward Tang San. The two of them then used the spiderweb parachute created by Tang San and safely returned. After they arrived, Oscar asked Tang San about his new skills. In response, Tang San showed everyone his fourth spirit ring. Using this spirit ring, Tang San could now produce a black-colored blue-silver plant. This new blue-silver plant was extremely tough and rigid, and seeing this made everyone very happy. With this ability, Tang San could trap everyone at the same time inside a web cage. Motu was especially happy about this, because now he and Tang San could use their skills together to support each other in battle. Since the contest was only 5 days away, the Grandmaster called some even stronger students from Shrek School to join them. These students introduced themselves, and among them was Tai Long. All of these new students were brought in as substitutes, meaning that if anything happened to anyone on Tang San's team, they would be replaced by these students. After that, the Grandmaster began explaining the rules of the competition. He said that many powerful teams would participate, and this competition was meant to produce great soul master talents. Because of this, no one was allowed to kill anyone during the competition. If anyone did so, their team would be disqualified. He also explained that during the matches, they were only allowed to use their soul power and nothing else. This meant that Tang San could not use his hidden weapons. The Grandmaster explained many more rules, which would be discussed later. In the initial matches, only 3 players would fight at a time. So Tang San, Zewu, and Mr. Dai decided to fight first. While they were discussing this, the dean arrived and handed everyone a uniform, since wearing uniforms was mandatory during the competition. When the students saw the ugly uniforms, they all felt disappointed, but since there was no other option, they wore them and headed to the tournament venue. At the venue, other students began mocking them after seeing their uniforms. Soon after, students from their old rival school came again and started making fun of Tang San and his team. Their teacher was also present, Teacher Xian Yang, a nightmare soul master who specialized in creating illusions. As they moved forward, the mocking continued, which made Mr. Dai extremely angry. However, Tang San calmed him down and continued forward. The tournament was massive. Many people of all ages had gathered, some to participate and others just to watch. Soon, the host arrived and began introducing all the teams one by one. Tang San's team was given the name Unrivaled Champions. At that moment, the group saw 3 important figures on a large screen. Ning Rongrong explained that one of them was her father, the second was the emperor of the Tiando Empire, and the third was the chief of the Martial Soul Temple, whom she described as a bad man. The tournament officially began, and various leaders came forward to give speeches. Uncle Sword spoke first and said that he knew of a team that stood out above all others and, in his opinion, that team would win the tournament. When people asked which team it was, he said it was a secret. As they went inside, they noticed a team carrying blue flowers, talking about giving them to someone. When Ning Rongrong asked the Grandmaster about this, he explained that these flowers were very common there, but symbolized true love, which is why people gave them to one another. Next, the chief of the Martial Soul Temple stepped forward and began deciding which teams would fight each other. During this time, he also looked at a girl with disgusting intentions, making it clear how evil he was. The opposing teams were then decided, and one team was called forward and given a grand introduction. Seeing this, the dean felt irritated because he wished his own school could receive such an introduction, but there was nothing he could do. These teams had found sponsors, whose advertisements were displayed on their shirts. To raise Shrek School's status, the Grandmaster allowed his students to remove advertisements from their uniforms. This made the dean very sad, because it meant he would not receive any sponsorship money. Tang San then explained the battle plan to his team. Their opponent turned out to be none other than the Imperial School. When Shrek School and Imperial School were called into the arena, the audience overwhelmingly believed that Imperial School would win. They mocked Shrek School, calling them losers, especially because of their ugly uniforms. The match began, and Tang San confidently declared that they would win within 1 minute. At first, Tang San and the others attacked normally. Then Tang San trapped the entire opposing team using his black-blue-silver plant, and Mr. Dai attacked them from above. Everyone panicked, believing that Mr. Dai's attack would kill them. Mr. Dai still launched the attack, sending them flying far away. When the audience saw no movement from the opposing team, they assumed they were dead. Because of this, discussions began about disqualifying Shrek School for killing their opponents. However, it was then revealed that Tang San's team had a healing branch warrior, who had been continuously healing the opposing team. As a result, they were not dead, only unconscious. Everyone immediately understood Tang San's intelligence, and Shrek School was officially declared the winner. The dean was overjoyed upon seeing their victory. He stood up and left, announcing that he would now bring in even more expensive sponsors, since his team was winning. Outside, Uncle Sword met with Ning Rongrong. He praised Tang San, and Ning Rongrong introduced Uncle Sword to all her friends. When she introduced Oscar, she became shy, and Oscar stepped forward himself, praising their tribe and introducing himself. Everyone laughed and joked together. Later, Uncle Sword spoke to Tang San privately and told him that his father disappeared shortly after becoming a great soul land master. He wanted to tell Tang San much more, so he took him to a hotel and introduced him to a young man, the prince of the Tiando Empire. They introduced themselves to each other. Tang San asked the prince about his father. The prince explained that he had been searching for Tang San's father for many years, and all clues pointed toward the Martial Soul Hall. Long ago, the strongest warriors of the Martial Soul Hall had gathered and gone in search of a treasure that was in Tang San's father's possession. This led to a battle between the Martial Soul Hall and his father. After immense struggle, Tang San's father defeated all of them alone, but he was severely injured. After that, he became known as the youngest Soul Land Master. However, his era gradually faded, a new generation rose, his clan weakened, and one day, he disappeared. When Tang San asked about his mother, the prince said he knew nothing. This filled Tang San with rage toward the Martial Soul Hall, and he vowed to take revenge. The prince promised to investigate further and find the truth about Tang San's parents. Before Tang San left, the prince offered to have dinner with him, but Tang San declined, saying he needed to train. The prince then gave him a badge, telling him that Tang San could seek his help anytime by showing it. After Tang San left, Uncle Sword and the prince discussed him, realizing that Tang San would one day surpass even his father. Uncle Sword was revealed to be the prince's master. As the Shrek School students left, the same people who had mocked them earlier now praised them, amazed that they had defeated their opponents in just 1 minute. Still, their uniform color looked strange, so the students went to the dean to argue. Mr. Dai had a long argument with him. The stubborn dean finally agreed, but only on the condition that he would keep 80% of the advertisement revenue. After discussion, everyone agreed, and it was finally decided that their uniforms would be changed. Later, the Grandmaster called Tang San and Ning Rongrong to him. He wanted to give Ning Rongrong special training, because when she assisted 6 people at once, she could only maintain the boost for 3 seconds. He explained a powerful technique from her tribe and discussed heart separation control. Normally, when Ning Rongrong assisted someone, she boosted all abilities. But if someone was running, they only needed speed, not swimming ability. Boosting unnecessary abilities wasted energy. The Grandmaster wanted her to learn how to boost specific attributes only. Ning Rongrong complained that the training was boring and difficult, but the Grandmaster explained that she was born with the talent for it, so she agreed. The Grandmaster then told Tang San to learn this technique as well. Tang San was shocked, since it belonged to Ning Rongrong's tribe. But the Grandmaster explained that Tang San possessed dual martial souls, a control branch, and had grown even stronger after obtaining his spirit ring. Because of this, he should learn it too. Tang San hesitated, but Ning Rongrong convinced him. Finally, the Grandmaster spoke to Tang San alone and asked him what Uncle Sword had talked to him about. Tang San tells him everything in detail, and the Grandmaster agrees that everything Tang San said is true. But the real question still remains. What did the Martial Soul Hall want from Tang San's father? There are only 2 things that a great Soul Land Master can possess, either spirit rings or a soul bone. Spirit rings cannot be taken from someone by force, but perhaps they had come to take his soul bone. However, if they truly wanted the soul bone, they could have taken it easily, because taking a soul bone does not require killing the person. But the Martial Soul Hall had come with the intention to kill. The Grandmaster continues analyzing this, but he still cannot reach a clear conclusion, because the real answer can only be known by the Martial Soul Hall and Tang San's father himself. Just then, Ning Rongrong arrives. She had brought the heart separation control technique from her father, Chief Ning, and Chief Ning had officially given permission for Tang San to learn it as well. Meanwhile, all the students enter the tournament area and go to their respective rooms, where their uniforms are changed. This time, their uniforms look much better, and no one will mock them anymore because of how they look. Seeing this, everyone feels very happy. However, the Grandmaster and the other teachers arrive and inform them about their next opponent team. Their opponent is called the Elephant Armor Team, which is known as the strongest defensive team currently present on the continent. The Grandmaster then gives them 3 options. 1. Tang San's team can forfeit the match, because if they fight this battle, Tang San and the others may become exhausted and fail to perform well in future matches. 2. Tang San's team can fight with full strength, but the probability of winning is only 1%. 3. They can fight the match, but only the strongest warriors will enter the battle. Hearing this, the dean becomes a bit depressed, because if they do not fight, they will lose their sponsorship. Arlong becomes very angry at this situation. After discussing among themselves, all the students decide that they will fight this match, because this tournament is not just about winning or losing. They will also learn a lot from it. They then begin planning how to defeat a team that is stronger than them. The tournament match begins, and both teams are introduced. Among the chief guests present are Chief Ning, Ning Rongrong's father, and discussions arise about Hu Yanzhan, who is the master of the Elephant Armor School and the leader of the opposing team. He is extremely powerful, and so is his team. Hu Yanzhan is connected to the Martial Soul Hall. Both teams' members are introduced. From Tang San's side, The team consists of Tang San, Mr. Dai, Zewu, Catgirl, Oscar, and 2 subordinate members. The fight begins. The opposing team immediately forms a defensive formation and slowly advances toward Tang San's team. Tang San had carefully selected his teammates because he already had a master strategy prepared for defeating a stronger team. Tang San first tries to bind them using his blue-silver plant, but they escape easily. Then, according to his plan, Tang San binds his own teammates with the blue-silver plant. Oscar eats a flying sausage and lifts Tang San into the air, causing everyone to fly up, initiating aerial combat. The elephant armor team is not well suited for air combat, which is exactly why Tang San chose this strategy. Tang San and the others launch their attacks from the air. Even then, the opposing team does not weaken easily, and both sides push each other back. The fight turns into hand-to-hand combat, and Shrek School begins to fall behind. Oscar is about to be beaten badly, but Tang San saves him at the last moment. Tang San realizes that they cannot win like this. He then uses his 4th spirit ring, binding all opponents at the same time with immense strength. They struggle to free themselves. Some would need 30 seconds, others a full minute. The leader of the opponent team, being the strongest, breaks free first. Now that only the leader is free, Tang San and the others attack him together, following their plan. Their logic is simple. If the leader falls, the team will collapse. The leader begins to lose, but then his master Hu Yanjun uses the voice compression technique from a distance and tells him to use his soul bone. The leader activates his elephant soul bone and launches a fierce counterattack. Mr. Dai barely survives the assault. Then Catgirl and Mr. Dai fuse together, using fusion soul skills to strike back. Everyone's attention shifts to Mr. Dai and Catgirl. Taking advantage of this moment, Oscar uses his pink sausage on their fusion skill, increasing their power by another 10%. With this boost, they successfully overpower the elephant soul bone. The leader collapses, badly injured and unconscious. Soon after, the rest of the opposing team breaks free from the bindings, but Tang San and his teammates engage them one by one. Each Shrek School member takes on a single opponent, and because they are extremely strong in head-on combat, they easily defeat the remaining enemies. The host announces Shrek School as the winner, and everyone celebrates. The defeated leader stands up and tells Tang San, "We will meet again in the future," before leaving in anger. Tang San and the others also leave the arena. Tang San's hand is injured, so he leans on Zewu's shoulder. While they are talking, Ning Rongrong arrives with the Grandmaster and heals Tang San using her healing power. Everyone celebrates Shrek School's victory. Later, Tang San goes to meditate, wanting to gain better control over his purple demon eye, because observation is essential for mastering the heart separation control technique. He practices by trying to use hidden weapons and the blue-silver plant simultaneously, but his aim keeps failing. Feeling frustrated, he sits down. The Grandmaster arrives and tells him to relax. As Tang San calms down, the Grandmaster explains the finer details of the technique. Tang San meditates deeply, and his mental strength becomes so powerful that it begins to create a mimic environment around him. The surrounding plants start responding to his thoughts, as if they are deeply connected to him. The environment reshapes itself, and silhouettes of Tang San and his companions appear around him. Seeing this, the Grandmaster is shocked, because creating a mimic environment is something only rank 71 to 72 Soul Masters can do. Inside his mind, Tang San then uses his spider web, and multiple spiders appear, rushing to attack him. He understands that he must control the illusions, not be controlled by them. All 3 spiders attack at once, but Tang San stays strong and defeats all of them. He opens his eyes and sees the Grandmaster and Ning Rongrong. The Grandmaster praises his ability, and Ning Rongrong asks about his progress. Tang San demonstrates his power, leaving Ning Rongrong completely amazed and deeply impressed. The Grandmaster then motivates Ning Rongrong to train just as hard as Tang San and explains the true power of her tribe's 4th spirit ring. He also asks Tang San to help her train. Sometime later, we see Tang San and the others in the tournament room, talking among themselves, when the Grandmaster and teachers arrive again. The Grandmaster tells them that because of their continuous victories, many people have become impressed, and Shrek School is now famous across the continent. They have gained countless fans and many future opportunities. The Dean motivates them, saying they must continue winning and protect their reputation. The Grandmaster then informs them about their next opponent, the Lightning School, a very powerful team. He warns everyone to remain cautious. As they leave, they see many fans waiting outside. On the way, they pass the same school that Tang San's team had fought earlier. That school's leader gives them an evil smile. Now the Grandmaster reveals even more important information. He says that only 5 major challenges lie ahead of them. These 5 major challenges are Shan Fong School, Chi Hao School, Tian Shui School, Lightning School, and the Elephant Armored School. They have already defeated the Elephant Armored School in the previous match, but 4 extremely powerful teams still remain, and they must defeat them all. Just like the Elephant Armored School had a hidden soul bone, these 4 schools also possess many hidden secrets that no one knows about. Because of these secrets, Tang San and the others may face serious danger. Soon, everyone reaches the competition ring, where today's match is between Shanfeng School and Tian Shui School. Tang San asks the Grandmaster about their soul power, and the Grandmaster explains different details about each team. In the end, he says that all these teams can be defeated if Tang San's team fights together, but their true main enemy is the Martial Soul Hall, and they must defeat it no matter what. Tang San's father's disappearance is directly connected to the Martial Soul Hall. Hearing the name of the Martial Soul Hall fills Tang San with anger and motivation. He immediately goes alone to train in the heart separation control technique. As Tang San tries to reach the training ground, he suddenly realizes that he has been trapped in a time loop. No matter how many steps he takes forward, he ends up back in the same place. At that moment, he sees a strange-looking man, and Tang San instantly understands that this is an illusion meant to trap him. That strange man is the master of Kanghui School, and he has come specifically to kill Tang San, because if Tang San is eliminated, his team's victory will be guaranteed. Tang San asks him, "If I'm gone and Mr. Dai becomes the leader, will you kill him too?" The man answers yes, clearly revealing his cruel nature. The man then begins to alter reality, and Tang San suddenly finds himself standing inside a forest. The man attacks Tang San in various ways, while Tang San uses his blue-silver plant to defend himself. However, his defense is eventually broken. Seeing this, the man laughs loudly and drags Tang San into his dream world, where Tang San is forced to face his deepest fears. Tang San finds himself in his previous life, where elders are sentencing him to death for stealing secret knowledge from the elders' library. He also sees the lake, which was once being harassed by vile people. On the other side, when Zewu does not see Tang San nearby, she begins to panic. At the same time, she receives blood disaster signals from a plant, and she immediately realizes that Tang San is in danger. She rushes outside, and the entire school follows her. Meanwhile, the Kanghui school master laughs, believing Tang San is suffering immensely. But suddenly, Tang San stands up and launches an attack using his hidden weapons. Although the man is above rank 70, he manages to pull the weapons out of his body. Still, he is completely shocked. How did Tang San break his illusion? Tang San explains that the moment he was trapped in the time illusion, he already understood what was happening. He could have broken free immediately, but instead, he pretended to be trapped. In reality, his purple demon eye has evolved to such a level that it can break illusions even from rank 90 opponents. Tang San then reveals that although the man removed the weapons from his body, the poison inside the hidden weapons is still active, and it will kill him. Hearing this, the man is horrified, and moments later, he dies. After his death, the man's soul bone drops, and Tang San picks it up. However, he does not absorb it, because the Grandmaster had already warned him never to attach a soul bone without careful consideration. Tang San returns and sees the lake and everyone waiting for him. Zewu immediately hugs him, but because Tang San is severely injured, he loses consciousness. Zewu carries him to his room to rest. When Tang San wakes up, he sees Zewu lying beside him. As she opens her eyes, they begin to share a romantic moment on the bed. Unfortunately, Oscar suddenly arrives, bringing a notice that the Grandmaster has summoned Tang San. If Oscar hadn't interrupted, a full romantic scene might have happened. Tang San goes to meet the Grandmaster. When the Grandmaster learns that Tang San has killed Kanghui School's Xinyang, he is deeply shocked. However, he does not want Tang San to be dragged into a murder case, so he orders him to keep this a secret. Tang San agrees. Tang San then shows the soul bone he obtained. The soul bone is extremely valuable, but it is not suitable for Tang San. The Grandmaster decides to sell it and buy another soul bone, either a plant branch soul bone to strengthen Tang San's blue-silver plant, or a strength branch soul bone to enhance his hammer spirit soul. During their conversation, the Grandmaster says that if Tang San's father were still here, no one would have dared harm him today. This makes Tang San deeply miss his father. Later, Tang San rejoins the others, where Qi Ming is present and is chosen to lead the school for the current matches, because the Grandmaster needs time to analyze the remaining teams. Their next opponent is Jihao School. The Grandmaster brings Tang San a detailed file explaining Jihao School's strengths and weaknesses, shocking everyone with how powerful they are. The Grandmaster even suggests skipping the match to conserve energy for future battles. However, Tang San and the others refuse to back down and decide to fight. Both teams enter the ring, and their introductions are grand. Jihao School is famous for fire-based attacks, and they have two Storm Branch warriors who have never been defeated. This time, Mr. Dai, Tang San, Zewu, and 4 subordinates fight for Shrek School. The opposing team activates their spirit souls, and the battle turns into one-on-one combat. Spirit rings clash, and both sides overpower each other. Eventually, the opposing team succeeds in separating Shrek School, breaking their team formation. Tang San is surrounded alone, and the enemy's assistant branch warrior boosts their power selectively, a technique similar to what Ning Rongrong is currently learning. Their plan is to defeat Tang San first, knowing that the team will weaken without him, something that deeply worries the Grandmaster and Arlong. Dean Flander, however, is still focused on maintaining sponsorship. The opposing team attacks Tang San together using their spirit rings. Tang San recalls the techniques from his previous life and begins fighting without using his martial soul at all. Everyone believes Tang San is about to die, but instead, he dodges every spirit ring attack, defeats them using pure martial arts, and wins without activating his martial soul. He then pulls Mr. Dai and the others back together using the blue-silver plant, restoring their formation. Enraged, the opposing team unleashes fire attacks, but Tang San blocks them with the blue-silver plant. Everyone assumes the plant will burn, but because Tang San had once absorbed both fire and ice lake energy, his blue-silver plant has become immune to fire and water. Meanwhile, Kanghui School grows worried because their master has been missing for 2 days, unaware that Tang San has already killed him. Unable to defeat Tang San, the opposing team admits defeat, and Shrek School is declared the winner. With 11 consecutive victories, they are now clear champion contenders. The defeated team, furious in their room, vows revenge. Tang San may be immune to fire, but not to wind. A storm soul warrior named Feng Jiao Dian decides to eliminate Tang San. He admires an arrogant girl on his team, who promises to be his if he defeats Tang San. Motivated, Feng Jiao Dian makes up his mind. Later, Tang San, Mr. Dai, and Qi Ming meet the Grandmaster. The Grandmaster is extremely impressed by Tang San's past life abilities, but fears that if too many teams learn his secrets, final opponents will exploit his weaknesses. Because of this, he decides that Tang San should not fight in upcoming matches. Tang San becomes upset, but Mr. Dai and Qi Ming persuade the Grandmaster that Tang San must continue fighting to grow stronger. Eventually, the Grandmaster agrees. Later, when all the Shrek School students are celebrating together, the Grandmaster arrives and tells them about their next opponent, the Kanghui School team. Everyone immediately begins planning how to defeat them. The other's opponent this time is Kanghui School. This is the same school that fought Tang San at the very beginning, where Mr. Dai stepped in and brutally defeated Kanghui School's leader. Tang San has also killed Kanghui School's master, and now Kanghui School is about to fight Shrek School inside the arena. Tang San and the others begin heading toward the ring. But on the way, Feng Xiaotian stops them. Feng Xiaotian is the same guy who has been told to defeat Tang San, because if he manages to beat Tang San, the girl he likes will become his girlfriend. He repeats the same nonsense again, and Tang San and the others immediately realize that this guy is clearly a mental case. Soon after, both teams are brought face-to-face inside the ring, and they begin displaying their soul power. Kanghui School has 7 fighters, and all 7 of them combine to form a special formation called 7-in-1 Martial Soul Fusion Skill. The opponent team first releases dense fog across the arena. Because of this fog, Tang San and the others are unable to see anything. Then Kanghui School begins creating illusions to confuse them. Tang San's team has no idea where to attack, because they cannot even see their own teammates, let alone the enemy. Kanghui School truly hates Tang San and Shrek School from the bottom of their hearts. They are not trying to win the match, they are trying to kill them. To do this, they flood the entire arena with fog, so much so that even the audience and judges cannot see what is happening inside. Dean Flander tries to stop the match because he knows Kanghui School intends to kill Shrek School. However, the Grandmaster remains calm, knowing that Tang San can easily handle such attacks, and he stops the Dean from interfering. Tang San has already understood Kanghui School's strategy and realizes that this school is like a monster. He quickly forms a plan. Kanghui School students move behind Shrek School members using illusions and begin stabbing them with knives. At that exact moment, Tang San throws his teammates away using the blue-silver plant and releases an enormous burst of high-intensity energy in all directions. The energy is so powerful that Kanghui School's fighters don't just get injured, they lose consciousness instantly. They will not recover for many years. The fog slowly clears. Tang San pretends to be injured, and his teammates understand immediately. They also come out acting injured, performing Oscar-level acting. Everyone believes Kanghui School is dead, but the referee checks and confirms that they are still breathing. Many people start calling Tang San cruel, while another group argues that he isn't cruel at all, because Tang San himself was injured too. And in a battle like this, how badly someone gets hurt depends on luck. In other words, Tang San is deliberately gaining sympathy. The audience didn't see what actually happened inside the fog, but they can roughly guess. As Tang San returns, Dean Flander informs him that since Kanghui School barely survived, there will be an investigation for attempted murder, and a committee will interrogate him. When Tang San asks what he should say, the Dean tells him to say he knows nothing. The fog was too thick for anyone to tell who attacked whom. The organization committee arrives, with Salas and Ning Rongrong's father acting as judges. Ning Rongrong's father feels sympathetic toward Tang San, but Salas hates Tang San and wants to remove Shrek School at any cost. Salas accuses Tang San of attempting murder. Dean Flander again performs Oscar-level acting, explaining that Shrek School students were also injured, and just like Salas doesn't know what happened inside the fog, Tang San and the others don't know either. Salas understands their tactic and orders them to leave. Before things end, the dean calls Tang San forward, and Tang San continues pretending to be injured. Salas still refuses to back down until the Grandmaster arrives. The Grandmaster throws down a badge given by Tianho. This badge belongs only to powerful and honorable soul masters. Seeing it, Salas immediately bows his head and leaves angrily without saying another word. The problem is resolved. However, Arlong becomes angry with the Grandmaster, believing that the badge was given to him by a woman and assuming he still has a connection with her. The Grandmaster calmly explains that Tang San's father gave him the badge, and Arlong finally settles down. The identity of that woman will be revealed later. Tang San then withdraws from his next 2 matches, pretending to be badly injured. After officially losing 2 matches without fighting, he decides to participate in the 3rd match, which is against Tuansher School. All the Shrek School students are in their room when Feng Xiaotian shows up again, annoying everyone and declaring that after a few matches, he will defeat Tang San. He continues irritating the team with his childish behavior. Meanwhile, Tian Shui School's team appears, consisting entirely of girls. One of the girls instantly takes a liking to Mr. Dai. This is Shrek School's final preliminary round match, and if they win, they will be promoted. Their opponent is Tian Shui School, an all-girls team. Mr. Dai feels a little shy, and everyone laughs. He Ming reminds them not to underestimate their opponents, because Tian Shui School has been winning continuously and is very strong. Both teams enter the ring, and their entrance is spectacular. The host gives an impressive introduction, and the fight begins. The opponent team uses ice abilities to block Shrek School. Before Tang San can attack, he is frozen inside ice, and soon the rest of the team is trapped as well. The opponent leader advances toward Tang San, knowing that if Tang San falls, the rest of the team will collapse. Seeing this, Mr. Dai breaks free using his soul power and attacks the leader, forcing her to retreat and giving Tang San a chance to escape the ice. However, the leader freezes them again, nullifying Mr. Dai's effort. Since Tai Long is from the defense branch, Mr. Dai sends him forward. Tai Long smashes through the ice and attacks the leader. His defense is extremely strong, allowing his attacks to be effective. Other Shrek School members who escape the ice join the attack. It becomes clear that Tang San intentionally stayed trapped to keep the leader's attention focused on him, allowing his teammates to attack freely. A fierce battle follows, with both sides overpowering each other. Finally, the opponent team attempts to end the match by covering the entire arena in ice, dropping the temperature drastically. Even the audience begins freezing. They launch ice blades at Tang San and the others, lowering the temperature so much that their soul power becomes difficult to use. At that moment, Tang San creates a cage using the blue-silver plant, focusing entirely on defense. Having mastered the heart separation control technique, he uses all his soul powers solely for defense, holding his ground perfectly. The opponent team becomes furious and fuses their martial souls. The temperature drops even further, forcing the officials to activate a protective barrier over the arena. Even Zewu begins freezing. The fused martial soul controls massive ice fins, creating a terrifying scene. Tang San realizes that he cannot survive this using soul power alone. Everyone becomes anxious. With no other choice left, Tang San finally decides to use his second martial soul. He brings Mr. Dai with him for support, activates his 4th spirit ring, and charges forward to attack. Immediately, ice spread everywhere, and no one could understand what exactly had happened. After some time, the ice finally cleared, and everyone saw Tang San standing there in an injured condition, while the entire opponent team was unconscious. This shocked everyone deeply, and no one could understand how this was even possible. Tang San then explained that he is immune to ice, and the only reason he got injured was because the Ice Phoenix had attacked him with strong momentum. Tang San had defeated the opponent team by using his 4th spirit ring, but this was actually against the rules. No warrior was allowed to use the power of a 30,000-year-old soul beast, yet Tang San had done exactly that. No one realized this truth, and everyone was about to declare Tang San the winner, when Tang San himself stopped the host and explained the reason. He said that because he had broken the rules, this match should be declared a draw. The opponent team also agreed, and the match was officially declared a tie. Because of this, Shrek School did not win the match, which made everyone quite sad. However, they still received their qualifying certificate, which made Oscar and the others very happy. Tang San blamed himself for this result, saying the draw was his fault, but the teachers and everyone else motivated him and told him to keep moving forward. After this, Tang San went to meet the Grandmaster and told him that there was a conflict going on between the Emperor and the Martial Soul Hall. He also explained that they had been summoned earlier, as all the qualifying teams were invited by the Emperor. The Emperor congratulated them and began awarding them with deserving titles. However, a man from the Martial Soul Hall named Sellers objected to this, because the Emperor was giving out very large rewards. The Emperor immediately shut him down and said that this was an internal matter, and Martial Soul Hall had no right to interfere. Sellers was badly humiliated, and out of spite, he allowed the use of Millennium Soul Beasts in the upcoming rounds. His real intention was to make Tang San fight against the Martial Soul Hall Academy and ensure Tang San's defeat. Hearing all this, the Grandmaster was shocked and moved forward. Suddenly, the same girl who wanted to defeat Tang San earlier appeared. She challenged Tang San to fight without using martial souls. Tang San replied that he was unavailable and tried to walk away. This made the girl furious, and she tried to attack him from behind, but Tang San easily dodged her attack. The girl was completely humiliated. Zewu and the others then left the area, and the girl finally understood that she could not defeat Tang San like this. Her school had also qualified, and she still had another chance to fight Tang San in future matches. Zhao Feng also arrived and comforted her, promising that he would destroy Shrek's school in the upcoming matches. Later, we see Shrek's school sitting together in a room when Tang San arrives and tells the Grandmaster that he wants to train alone. Their next matchup was 1 month away, and everyone needed training. The Grandmaster allowed Tang San to leave alone and took responsibility for training the rest of the students himself. While alone, Tang San began blaming himself again, thinking that the draw happened only because of him. He started wondering what he really had besides his 4 spirit rings and the ice and fire herbs, both of which were now banned from use. He became worried, wondering what he would do next, since his main weapons were no longer allowed. He then began to look deeper into his own talents and decided to consider using poison. However, he felt that relying only on poison would not be right. The only thing left was his hammer martial soul, and he decided to start cultivating it seriously. On the other side, we see the Poison Master when a man suddenly appears before him, someone who looks like his sworn enemy. It is revealed that 10 years ago, this man had tried to kill the Poison Master, but the Poison Master survived. The man's name is Zhu Hua, and back then, the Poison Master was saved only because Prince Zhu's patrol team arrived in time. Now, 10 years later, they face each other again, and the Poison Master wants revenge. A fight breaks out, and the Poison Master begins to lose. At that moment, he remembers the secret weapon given to him by Tang San, specially made for him. Using that hidden weapon, the Poison Master injures Zhu Hua and defeats him. Afterward, the Poison Master thinks about Tang San, realizing that he won only because of him. He goes to Tang San and sees him looking depressed. When he asks the reason, Tang San explains that as his rank increases, his blue-silver plant seems to be getting weaker. This deeply worries him. Tang San then asks whether he can cultivate his second martial soul instead. The Poison Master immediately understands his concern. He takes Tang San into a forest and asks him to release his blue-silver plant. Then he brings a normal blue plant and asks Tang San to compare them. Tang San explains that his blue-silver plant is stronger, tougher, warmer, and more comforting. Meanwhile, we see Tang San's friends undergoing intense training. The Poison Master explains that Tang San's blue-silver plant is not ordinary at all. It is his innate soul power, and most importantly, Tang San has 2 martial souls. This happens either when the parents' martial souls are extremely different or extremely similar. Tang San realizes that his mother's martial soul was the blue-silver plant, which was compatible with his father's hammer martial soul. Tang San remembers his mother and decides to continue cultivating the blue-silver plant, as it is something very special. At the same time, we see Zewu, who is cultivated up to rank 39. The Poison Master praises Tang San's hidden weapons and thanks him, saying that he defeated his opponent only because of Tang San. Tang San asks more about that man and learns that he was actually a Grand Soul Land Master. Tang San is confused because the hidden weapon alone should not have been enough. The Poison Master explains that he had infused the weapon with his strongest poisons and demonstrates it by destroying a tree instantly. This gives Tang San a sudden idea to integrate hidden weapons into his blue-silver plant. He becomes extremely happy and gives the Poison Master even more hidden weapons. Meanwhile, Zewu misses Tang San and wants to meet him. The Poison Master later tells Tang San that since he is qualified, he will surely achieve 3rd position in the tournament. This sounds strange to Tang San, so he asks why not 1st or 2nd place. The Poison Master explains that Martial Soul Hall has always been the champion of this tournament. Martial Soul Hall has many powerful Soul Land Masters, and even the man who fought the Poison Master belonged to Martial Soul Hall. Their juniors this year are stronger than ever and are guaranteed to win. The Poison Master also tells Tang San about the prizes, 3 soul bones. Meanwhile, we see Sellers checking Tang San's files, when someone informs him that the Poison Master will be the chief guest of the tournament. The Poison Master advises Tang San to give up the competition, warning that they will try to kill him. Tang San refuses, saying he will not quit without fighting. The Poison Master leaves. Suddenly, Zewu appears and attacks Tang San, wanting to fight him again. Tang San agrees, and during the fight, they grow closer and start sharing romantic moments. Suddenly, they hear a thunderous sound from Shrek's school and rush there. They see Erlong conducting extremely intense training, causing the lightning-like energy. The students are exhausted, but Erlong is so strict that they cannot protest. Tang San and Zewu join them. Their task is to complete 3 rounds, while Erlong tries to stop them. Eventually, Erlong attacks them directly using her spirit ring, and all students fight her together. Erlong is incredibly powerful, but Tang San unleashes his full potential, traps her in a blue-silver cage, and strikes her with his hammer, finally defeating her. Everyone is shocked. This new ability is called Blue-Silver Spike Formation, a mutated version of Blue-Silver Cage, developed with Zewu's help. Erlong refuses to accept defeat, but the Grandmaster calmly explains that she has lost. The next day, they enter the Imperial Hunting Ground and are amazed by its beauty. Shrek School is treated with great respect and given their own campus. Everyone is extremely happy. Later, Uncle Ning and Prince Yu arrive to meet Tang San. Prince Yu asks Tang San to call him brother, not prince. They then meet Ning Rongrong, and the dean introduces Prince Yu. And this is where the episode ends. Like, comment, and subscribe for the next part.